Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Madden NFL 23. Today, we are crowning a theoretical champion in our little what-if playoff scenario. We took a look at what would happen if the 7 seed was just a little bit different in each conference, letting the Packers and Lions have a shot at the 49ers, and letting the the Patriots and the Steelers have a shot at the Bills. The Packers and the Patriots were both winners in that initial wild card round in those two videos, and now chaos reigns supreme because that completely alters how the playoffs would look if a 7 seed were to have beaten a 2 seed. So we're going to follow this all the way through the Super Bowl, and we are going to crown a theoretical champion today. 2 matchups for you. First, in the NFC title game, we have the Packers taking on the Cowboys. That'll be in Dallas. And then we have the AFC Championship, which it could be a prediction of sorts, with the Bengals taking on the Chiefs. Both of those teams still alive in the AFC playoff picture. So we'll see what happens. And then we'll take a look at the Super Bowl, and bam, a theoretical champion will be crowned. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I'm having a good time making it, and I hope you're having a good time watching it. If you want more, scroll down, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos. We'll have a Super Bowl prediction going up on February 12th, the actual real Super Bowl prediction, and it will be a good time. There you go. Let's see. Let's jump in. We'll jump right in here. Play now. And we will... I don't know why I keep showing Rob Gronkowski, but okay. We are going to go to Dallas. And we are going to watch them play the Packers. That will be game number 1. Morning, yes. We'll jump on in here. Let's see. 4:15. Of course. Well, wait, what was it? Was it 3? 3 and 6? Yeah. All right, well, we'll go with 4:15, so. I guess we could just do exhibition. It's kind of weird at the beginning. Exhibition, quick presentation, Super Bowl. We'll do that. All right, here we go. Game number 1 of 3 today. Sit back, relax, hang out for a bit, and enjoy some football with me here as I'm commentating these games. 10-minute quarters, went in, adjusted the sliders. I think the games, for the most part, have been pretty solid. So I think it's worked out. Did a Super Bowl prediction in last year's Madden game, and it was an absolute disaster. The Rams ran away with it. It was pretty abysmal, and I was not the only one who had that problem. So went in, tweaked some sliders, and I think they've worked very nicely. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys coming out for drive number 1 as Dallas wears their home whites, so Green Bay gets their home green on the road. Who is that? Is that Kenny Clark? No, it is number 95, Wyatt, with a sack, a big 14-yard loss. A little surprised to see Dak Prescott take that big of a loss. He's pretty good about getting out of the pocket and getting away from a defensive lineman, or just throwing the ball away. Third and 36. What is happening? What? This may be the longest down and distance. Is this game broken? I think 3rd and 36 is the longest down and distance we've seen. We're gonna, I think, get an encroachment here. Oh, just kidding. It is actually going to be a false start. As we take a look at the second sack from Preston Smith. Quiet, the offense is at work. I don't think we saw that graphic at all last time. So the Cowboys one up themselves and go for a 3rd and 37 conversion in the end zone. Dak rolls, runs up the right sideline, and he'll be met obviously well short of the line to gain. He'll pick up 13, but that's still 24 yards short of where he needs to go. So quick drive there for the Dallas Cowboys. 2 sacks and a quarterback rush that doesn't do a whole lot of good. And Green Bay will get the ball with probably pretty decent field position. He'll return it from the 40, find a little bit of a crease, and he'll get up to the 49-yard line. That is Nixon, who has been electric on kick returns, or was electric on kick returns toward the end of the regular season. Not just, like I've said, scoring touchdowns, but also just big explosive plays for good field position for Green Bay's offense. Going to go with a tight set, run it with Jones. Jones will find 2 yards and get into Cowboys territory. The New York Giants did not stand much of a chance against Dallas every time they were able to get going. Dallas was able to create a turnover or just get a stop, and it was a pretty ugly game. So it gives Dallas probably a lot of confidence going into this one. Packers have had to be on the road the entire playoffs. That's how they won the last Super Bowl. Green Bay as a 6 seed going through. They have not been back to the big game since. So you have an Ice Bowl replay here, a potential Super Bowl I rematch, or NFL AFL World Championship if you want to be, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Great, excellent. Semantical about it, that's what I was looking for. Or you have me versus the Beeb for the World Championship of the NFL, and the Packers and the Bengals, two of our two favorite teams, playing each other. Aaron Rodgers is 2 for 2 when he has the Packers down to the red zone. Nice pass to Lazard. There's a float pass into the end zone. That one's going to be picked. A nice play by number 7, Diggs, to intercept Aaron Rodgers in the end zone, and that'll keep the Packers off the board. 1st and 10 from the 20, and they will go to Ezekiel Elliott, and he'll find some good chunk of room off that left side. 1 rush, 7 yards for Elliott, who we did not see on the last drive. It was all Prescott with the 2 terrible sacks, 1 false start, which was a half the distance to the goal. And that's something we see a lot from the Packers offense, especially like in real life, is this kind of too cutesy attitude that can get them into trouble. Rodgers throwing a lot more interceptions this year than he has in previous years, maybe even some previous years combined. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. The red zone and the goal-to-go situations especially have not been kind to the Packers throughout the NFL season this year. We'll see what Rodgers wants to do. Kind of just wish he'd shut up about it. He just... You don't talk about a dude that's like just so unbelievably full of themselves, or just a person that's just unbelievably full of themselves. Just thinking everything they say is just so cutesy and clever, and this will get people talking. It's like, okay, just like shut up and make a decision, please. We might be taking a look at a kind of what if slash prediction slash like can we thing regarding Jordan Love in the coming over the summer. So the theoretical idea behind it would be what if Green Bay had just kind of moved on like they did with Favre to Rodgers, or from Rodgers to Jordan Love? How would those last 2 seasons have looked? Oh my God, a 32-yard touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott, as I'm trying to explain a theoretical series. He made that defense look silly, knifed through them. Look at all the defenders there. A couple of guys just missed. He just beautiful steps into the end zone. And they take advantage of that turnover and make it a big drive, 80-yard drive for Dallas. This hurts me. As a person who dearly, dearly loves Green Bay and mega loathes Dallas, this hurts. Dallas has not been to the Super Bowl in like 30 years or something. Let's keep it that way. So what I was debating doing was going back, see if they move on, if Green Bay were to have moved on from Rodgers, like they did with Rodgers from Favre, what would the last couple of seasons look like with the Packers having Jordan Love under center? And the second part of it would be using the next game. Can we build a winner with Jordan Love? Our hands are kind of tied. My hands are kind of tied a little bit with like the ratings, but if there's a way that we can improve him throughout the season, which I think you can in the franchise mode, and then just kind of keep those ratings consistent throughout the seasons, maybe we can try and build a competitive Green Bay Packers team going into the years to come. I don't know. It involves a surprising amount of research because I got to figure out when he was going to leave and where he wanted to go. I was thinking about maybe just throwing him in on Denver just to like make the whole thing explode with the Russell Wilson trade. But Tennessee might actually be the safer bet just to let that kind of not be a problem. Anyway, if that sounds interesting, let me know down in the comments below. It sounds probably interesting enough for me to do anyway, so it might... Your opinion is valued, but I might still kind of just do it anyway. Aaron Jones, they're going to get a big run from their running back. And he'll get up to the 49-yard line. 3 rushes, 22 yards for Aaron Jones. Packers really good at moving the ball between the 20s, but once it starts to get tight down there, I don't know what it is exactly, but we saw them struggle in the game against... Oh, where'd my notepad go? In the game against the Eagles on a couple of goal-to-go scenarios. So Jones take it down at the 41. It'll be a 2nd down and 3 as the Packers look to tie this game up with a nice long drive of their own. I formation jumbo set, the single receiver at the top of your screen, I think is Lazard. They're going to go play action pass. He's looking, firing, and it's going to be tipped at the line. Looked like he was going for number 81 over the middle, which I like. I like that play call on a 2nd and 3. Get a play action, maybe take a shot. It's still 3rd and very manageable. I think sometimes when it gets to like inches, that's where I think like, okay, just convert the 1st down. But a 3rd and 3 or a 2nd and 3, I think it's a good option for a play action pass. Rodgers drops back to throw, finds wide open Dobbs. And that is a 41-yard touchdown pass. We could be off and running in a shootout here in Texas. Look at that. Wide open Romeo Dobbs. Crosby up, and the kick is good. So 7-7 here. 5 plays, 74-yard drive. 1:44 off the clock. 106 total yards for Green Bay. They did throw the interception in the end zone. Coming up this week on the channel, we got Forspoken's going to be releasing. Got a good taste test lined up for you tomorrow. We Are OFK continues. So stick around if that sounds like fun. Oh, and the NFL Fever wild card round is happening, including these Green Bay Packers. Not these Green Bay Packers, but 20 years ago Green Bay Packers, who I'm surprised are in the playoffs. But you can hear more about that on Tuesday on youtube.com/ShaunosaurusRex. I thought I timed that up pretty well. I did actually time that up pretty well. So inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it up to the 25, makes a man miss, and he'll get a couple extra yards to the 28-yard line. 69 total yards for Dallas. Nice. We go to the play action. Over the middle, and that is a terrific defensive play by number 59. First incomplete pass for Prescott. We're not going to get the name of that defender with the deflection, but a very nice play. I thought that was going to be a solid completion. He got his hand in there and knocked the ball away. Second down and 10. Play action pass on first down. I am a fan of it. They'll go with it on second down as well. This time he'll find number 87. He'll get the first down marker right at the 38-yard line. Ferguson with his second reception of the day. We'll see if we see number 86. Schultz, I believe, is his last name for the Cowboys. He had a monster game. 10 receptions, around 100 yards. We're going to go to Elliott off the left side. Makes the first guy miss, the rookie, number 7. He'll pick up 6, and Rasul Douglas coming through on the tackle. Prescott with a quick throw, and that'll be a nice completion. I believe that's CD Lamb. He'll be into Green Bay territory and a first down. Got him in front of a couple of defenders there, including Rasul Douglas. Looked like it was kind of a dangerous pass, but then you see the other angle where he's clearly in front of guys. And it's a good decision by Prescott. With that pass, Dallas eclipses 100 total yards of offense, which is a little surprising considering that they had lost, I guess, 14 total by the end of that first drive. Second down and 2. Single back set with trips receivers to the top side of the formation. He's going to go that way, but overthrows CD Lamb, and that will give us one more play here in the first quarter. Didn't realize we were almost done with quarter number 1. We're going to go play action pass on the 3rd and 2, and they'll find Ezekiel Elliott regardless, and that'll make get him down to the 30. That is a conversion for a first down. And that's one where I would like to see a run there. The play action pass on a 3rd and 2, maybe a little pressure. You get an extra blitzer to get through and break up that play. But I'm not an NFL head coach. Four yards for Elliott on that one. Remember when they made that game, by the way? NFL head coach. Wild. They only did the one. The one time EA was experimental, and it was NFL head coach. There is a nice pass. Dallas trying to regain that momentum. These two teams' defenses they have no answer. 26 there is caught in kind of a weird situation. He's got to pick one guy to go with, and kind of went with a deep crosser. Prescott rolls out to his left. He has room. It's going to be a tight play down at the yard, the line to gain, excuse me. It'll be 2nd and 1. Douglas on the tackle. Mike McCarthy facing his old team. I believe McCarthy took a year off before going and coaching Dallas. They're going to go play action pass, and that is number 87 for the touchdown. Just poor positioning by number 26 there on the Packers defense. Let Ferguson get in front of him. That's Darnell Savage. on the coverage there, and just, I mean, that is a mismatch. That is a size mismatch advantage Cowboys, and you saw it there with the pretty easy touchdown. I do appreciate that this game has the big Super Bowl thing. I'll probably just do regular presentation for that. That way we get all the Super Bowl, fancy Super Bowl stuff. So the Cowboys retake the lead, 14-7. Dallas had that ball first, so keep that in mind as we make our way through this second quarter. Nixon gets up to the 27, and that's where Green Bay will take over. Rodgers back on the field, throws over the middle, and that'll be a pass to Dobbs. Dobbs, who has the touchdown reception, 3 receptions, 59 yards. And that is a nice 8-yard completion to get this drive off to a positive start. Rodgers hit as he threw. It looked like that one just kind of shot into the ground. That was a kind of a weird release. Like the collision detection just kind of overtook whatever they were trying to do. So 3rd down and 2, they'll go with Jones, and he will be stopped by Van Eyck right at the line to gain. He's going to be inches short. That is a quick 3 and out for a Packers team that does not have a defensive answer for what the Cowboys are doing. Punt is away, and it is pretty short. Cowboys for some reason have their like home field advantage perk is kick power is reduced when they're on one side of the 50, but it's kind of worded weirdly. It says across the 50, which I'm assuming is behind, or if it's field goal. Punt distance. Nice play by Kenny Clark and that D-line to drop Elliott for a loss of 2. Elliott averaging almost 10 yards a carry. Alexander might have been in on that tackle as well. Prescott rolls to his left. There's a big old jumble of blockers, and he is going to be off to the races to slide short of the line to gain 3rd down and 3. Green Bay's defensive line and the Cowboys' offensive line got all kind of tangled up on that left side, and they weren't able to get penetration cleanly. It allowed for a pretty easy 9-yard pickup for Dak Prescott. Prescott with the throw over to Galladay, I believe that is. He is 10 of 12, right at that even 100-yard mark. And that'll be good for a Cowboys 1st down, thanks to the PA announcer. Now, with that double dip that you can do, because the Packers are going to get the ball first, a 14-point deficit isn't the worst in the world so long as the Cowboys don't touch the ball. The problem is they need the defense to get a stop just at some point. Obviously sooner rather than later to try and tie this game up, but 14-point deficit can be erased with a touchdown right before the half and a touchdown coming out of half immediately. which would make it a theoretical 21-21 game. Second down and 5, 2 receivers split to the top side of the screen. Elliott to Prescott's left, and he will go that way. Elliott got met at the line, but still made it through, and that'll be a first down up to the 45-yard line. There's a throw to the right sideline, and that's Galladay again. 11-yard gain up to the 34-yard line. There's a throw to 88, whose name I'm blanking on, CD Lamb. CD Lamb, that's another conversion for a first down immediately. 12-yard pickup. Alexander with his second tackle. Prescott drops back, throws over the middle, and there were 2 receivers right in the area. And that's going to be reception for Gallup. I've been saying Galladay, and I apologize. It is Gallup. Kenny Galladay. Galladay, did he play for the Giants? I apologize. Gallup. Ezekiel Elliott runs up the middle, and he is going to be in for a Cowboys touchdown. And Dallas seems like an overpowered team here. I don't know what is happening, but you're not going to get 2 good Dallas Cowboys games in a row. They're going to poop the bed at some point. But we have seen them now 2 times here in this playoffs. They're in these playoffs, and they have absolutely dominated. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And on an extra point, you have an injury to T.J. Slayton for Green Bay. So, as we await the kickoff here, let's set the scene. 21-7 to score. Green Bay with the ball. 3 minutes to go in this one. 3 timeouts. Obviously plenty of time. And they get the ball after half. So drain as much clock as you can. Try and get a score after half immediately. Make this at least a 21-17 game. You cannot make this a 21-13 game. You got to get a touchdown on one of these next 2 drives. Or Dallas might just start running away with this one like they did against the Giants. In which case, you won't even have a commentator. I'll just go sit on the couch and wait for this misery to be over. Rodgers to Jones. Jones finds some room. Gets past the defender and still on his feet after a gain of 7. And it'll be second down and 3. Hand off to Jones, right up the middle. He'll make a man miss or kind of just bowl a man over. I wonder if Green Bay maybe shouldn't be trying to run the ball a little bit more. I know it's maybe not ideal with a 2-minute offense, but Jones is looking good, and he's getting big chunks. They're up to the 36-yard line with 2 minutes to go. Rodgers in the backfield by himself finds Robert Tonyan for what I believe is his first reception of the game. 6 for 9, 98 yards is Rodgers, and indeed that is Tonyan's first catch. It goes for 13 up to the 49-yard line. They're going to go no huddle around midfield. Rodgers in the backfield. Christian Watkins was in the backfield with him. Have not called his name in regards to a reception today. Lazard, I believe, pointing the wrong way, but that arrow may have actually been the correct way, and I was turned around. Lazard, though, with a nice 22-yard grab, and that'll set up the Packers inside the 30. And here is a screen. Big number 96, though, with a tremendous defensive effort. Read that very well. Got out on the edge, and I thought, maybe Jones could get away from him. Still a pickup of 2. Green Bay takes its first time out. Rodgers over the middle finds Christian Watkins, and there is, or Watson. I keep saying Watkins. Watson. And I believe it's his first reception of the day. For some reason, was it a Cowboy running? What the heck? If I were Green Bay, I would have let that clock run a little bit more. I also would have run the ball here. Dallas will take a timeout. Good call by them to preserve as much time as possible. Crosby comes on for the field goal attempt from the 20, well, the 32, I guess. That field goal is up, and the field goal is good, so Dallas will have some time to work with. Pretty good looking drive. That 3rd and 1 was pretty terrible. Just run the ball. Just run it. Realized I have not actually really checked my phone much today. Which is fine. Sometimes it's good. Just watch some stuff. That 90s show was out today. Didn't watch any of it. Kind of curious. I feel like that 70s show is kind of it's a good background noise TV. Most plot problems wrapped up in 20 minutes. Nothing too stressful about it. You'll chuckle every once in a while. Well, probably mostly forgettable though. I don't think I could actually tell you a plot of an episode of that 70s show. And they played it a lot when I worked at my previous job at a warehouse. It was always on Comedy Central, so I'd catch good chunks of the episodes. Dak Prescott on a 2nd and 7 finds CeeDee Lamb, I believe. Oh, nope, that's number 85. We've seen receiver number 85, 87, and 88, and we have not seen our man Schultz catch a single pass today. There'll be a timeout taken with 38 seconds. The Cowboys are in Packers territory. A field goal here for Dallas is a big loss for Green Bay, who try to close this to a 1-score game after halftime. It'd still be a 1-score game, but only a 4-point deficit. Dak Prescott throws, and that was a dangerous throw out to CeeDee Lamb. A couple of Packers in the area can't come up with the ball. It'll just be an early breakup, as the game calls it. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. 26 seconds to go. Each team with a timeout. Out to the flat to Ezekiel Elliott, who makes a man miss with a terrific move. Packers do a pretty good job. Actually, they will keep him in bounds, so Dallas will burn their final timeout. Elliott's got to be better about just going like, I'm not going to get a whole lot more, even if I make a man miss, and just getting out of bounds. Even if he does make the move and still make that man miss, as soon as you see two board Packers defenders coming towards you, out of bounds. Save that last time out. Now you're really just working with throws to the sideline. Over the middle is going to be a gamble. Going to come up with their jumbo set. 3rd down and 5. Elliott right up the middle, and he'll get just a ton of yards. Just a ton. But this game doesn't have great clock management, and they might get screwed out of 3 points. I don't know why it doesn't kick in any sort of... All right, that's the half. The game being awfully kind to the Green Bay Packers. There's nothing I can do. Even if I push X or do anything, nothing happens there. So Dallas, who should have been on the ball to snap and spike it with about 3 seconds to go, and a decent field goal attempt, comes away empty-handed. And Dallas had an excellent first half there. You take that first drive out, and kind of in that last drive, well, they were all touchdown drives. 247 total yards. And even that last drive wasn't even that bad. They just ran out of time. Which is weird, because I always make fun of NFL Fever for not having any sort of, like, game time sense, and this game still doesn't have it. So, 20 years, football game still broken. Rodgers throws and finds Tunyon, a nice adjustment to catch that ball, and that'll be a 1st down at the 43-yard line. Tunyon's 2nd reception of the day. I wonder if Rodgers holds onto that ball, if he could take a shot down the sideline. It looked like the receiver that was on the top side of the screen was actually pretty free and clear, their defender. But picking up 1st downs, that's a lot more important than just big bombs. Setting up difficult situations. Watson with his 2nd reception of the day. So his previous reception that I called out was indeed the 1st reception. He hasn't been as much of a factor. Played well against the Eagles. Rodgers with a little delayed play action pass. He's going to throw a little float throw out to Alan Lazard, and a little too long for him. Jones stuffed at the line. They'll give him a yard. 9 rushes, 50 yards, so he's averaging a touch over 5 yards a carry. We have not seen A.J. Dillon in this one yet. We didn't see him much in the Eagles game either. Empty backfield for Rodgers. He's going to fling it over to, looks like, is that Lazard again? It is Alan Lazard, excuse me. I was hoping we would get his number of receptions. Alan Lazard, name been called a lot today. And that is a big 3rd down conversion. Offset I formation toward the, I guess what we call it, that would be the strong side. And they'll have Jones go that way, but a nice job getting off his block and making the tackle at the line of scrimmage by the Dallas Cowboys. A last name that I am not going to insult by trying to pronounce it. Also didn't get a great look at it. Rodgers with a throw that's a little bit too wide, but still dangerous. As if it was too wide for one receiver and off the path for another receiver. But because the defender was trailing, he was kind of accidentally in the area. Green Bay facing a big third down conversion again, 3rd and 10. Packers got to have points. Their defense has not been able to stop this Cowboys offense, and he'll just throw that away. Jones in the area. And I think we'll see a kick here from Mason Crosby, which is kind of what I was saying couldn't really happen. Now you're down 8. Field goal, good pending, obviously. There's a potentially misses it. Try and close that gap to 4. Kick should be, it is good. Barely, but it got there. So the points are up and good. 21-13 now our score. I thought this was the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, obviously a tie, 21-21. Middle scenario, 21-17. Field goal, and he puts you down by a touchdown. And then, I mean, I guess you end up down 11 with a touchdown, so then it gets like kind of wonky. So it's in a little middle. It's okay. This I thought was the worst case scenario, because now you're down 8. If they score again, you're down 15. You still need a 2-point conversion somewhere in there. But if your defense gets a stop at 21-17, you can force a 24-17. So we'll see. That was the first drive of the third quarter. 6:42 to go in this one, so a little over 3 minutes off the clock. That kickoff is well short. I am surprised. I thought the previous one toward the end of the half was like intentional, like a little pooch kick. But ugh, that was bad. And Green Bay, again, lucky that that Dallas wasn't able to get the points before half, because the clock just ran out on them. Otherwise, it'd be 24-13 potentially. You're looking at like a real big deficit. It's going to be a catch, but out of bounds. Prescott with a rare miss today, 16-20 so far. Solid 80% for Dallas. A miserable 80% pass completion for Green Bay's defense. Dallas has been exceptionally balanced. Ezekiel Elliott's looked great. Prescott's made a couple plays with his legs. And that's an incomplete pass as well. So 3rd down and 10. And Gallup drops that one. All right, here you go, Green Bay. This is your play. Get back in this game with a stop on 3rd down and 10. Get your offense the ball back, who's looked pretty okay. He'll get hit. The throw will be wide. That's going to be an incompletion. So Ferguson stepped out of bounds before he was able to corral that one. And just like that, Green Bay makes some terrific defensive adjustments. And they get they're able to get the ball back. This is kind of what you see from like a Green Bay offense. Off to a really hot start. You had 2-touchdown lead. And then that was such a quick 3 and out. That clock barely moved at all. It took, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds off. Defense doesn't get much of a rest. The offense comes back. They're feeling a little bit good. They get into a rhythm, and all of a sudden, you don't have a lead anymore, and it's hard to get that momentum going again. Pick it up, get back in rhythm. Rodgers finds a wide open receiver, Christian Watson, up to the 41-yard line. 2nd down and inches. Aaron Jones, he ran right into his own blocker, but still made progress enough with the 1st down. Actually got a pretty good chunk of yards there, up to the 47-yard line. Watch him run right into the blocker and whoop, right to the outside. Oh, God, those hiccups like just show up. Sorry about that. So Jones split to Rodgers right. Rodgers deep down the field. He has a man. It is, it was caught but broken up in the end zone. It was Watson. The big shot, big bomb. I mean, Rodgers threw that like 63 yards. in the air. So 2nd down and 10. Hand off to Aaron Jones. Nice run there. Really solid run for 8. And Jones is looking absolutely fantastic running the ball today. 3rd down and 2. Hand the ball off right up the right side, and a big move to get all the way down to the 35-yard line. Jones with 75 yards on 13 rushes. Blocked really well. Nice little number 71. Got kind of up into that 2nd level. You can see him kind of take out Van Ice. Just enough of him for a couple more yards. Rodgers drops back to pass, throws to the left side, finds Watson along the sideline. That'll be a gain of 6. And it'll be 2nd down and 4. Try to bring a little bit of extra pressure, but Rodgers still gets it away. Great protection from the offensive line. That's a throw to Watson again. Watson with his 5th reception of the day. Over 10 yards per catch. That'll be inside the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Pitch to the right side. Well read by the defense. A nice move to make it not quite as bad a loss. Jones does lose 3, and they'll knock it back to the 18-yard line. Jones stopped again in the backfield. Not really sure why you're running the ball on a 2nd down and 13. Creating a 3rd and 16, and this red zone has been just a baffling issue here for Green Bay. 3-yard loss on 1st and 10. 3-yard loss on 2nd and 13, and they're all the way back at the 20-yard line. Needing this one. The field goal gets you to 21-16. It's going to be an interception. Miscommunication. Watson stopped on the route. No idea what happened there, but the Packers are going to come up empty for the 2nd time in the red zone today. A red zone turnover. Nice play by the Packers defense. Going to drive Ezekiel Elliott backwards. Mark him at the 2, so forward progress there. Only gives him a loss of 1. I have no idea what happened on that route. It just looked like Campbell. It looked like Watson stopped, and obviously Rodgers thought he was going to continue the route. Nice interception by the defender. Oh, and there is a big play over the middle. The Packers defense had such a great opportunity to try and get off this field. I know it was 2nd down. From his own end zone. 3 or 4 yards deep. He's going to find a wide open CD Lamb. Sun trying to peek out here in the Pacific Northwest. Green Bay again trying to bring some extra pressure, but they're not able to get through. Prescott back on his back in rhythm here. He missed a couple throws on the last drive, but seems to have settled down, and they're all the way out to the 39-yard line. Drive started at the 3. So gain of 2 on that one. Prescott with a nice out throw to the right sideline, and Gallup is going to catch it near the sticks. He'll actually get the first down. I don't know why I said near the sticks. He'll get it caught past the sticks, and that'll be a 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. As we wind down quarter number 3, will we get one more play? Prescott stops to the line, and they will blow it dead as the clock has struck 0 in. At the end of the third quarter, passing yards identical at 189 each. Rushing yard advantage towards Dallas. Dallas, let's say 10 runs for 100 yards. They're averaging 10 yards a rush. Prescott spinning away and throws a dart to number 13, Gallup. There we go. We got it. Gallup has been a busy man today. I'm hoping we get a reception count. There you go. 6 receptions, 67 yards, which is really good. Really solid. Still have not called our guy Schultz's name. But Kenny Clark getting into the backfield, stopping Ezekiel Elliott for no gain. That was indeed 10 yard, or the 11th rush for Ezekiel Elliott. Might have been 16 rushes. I know Dax made some plays with his legs. Into the end zone, early breakup, and that'll be an incomplete pass. CD Lamb with what looked like Rasul Douglas on the coverage. 3rd down and 10. Big 3rd down for Green Bay's defense. Dallas can still go for a field goal attempt here. It'd be a 52-yard attempt. And they'll fire short, and they'll get 6 yards closer. Ezekiel Elliott was at 4 receptions. So 4th down and 5. Everybody be quiet. The offense is working. We will see a field goal attempt from 46. That's no good. No good. Not really surprising, considering that the dude missed 4 extra points in Dallas. Shout out, though, to Dak Prescott being like, he's our guy. I played like garbage last week. Wait, it happens. No big deal. Obviously, a lot easier to say that after a 31-14 win over ancient Tom Brady. Aaron Jones getting the first touch of the drive. 16 rushes, 75 yards for him, up to the 40-yard line. I do think the field goal stuff should probably be tweaked a little bit. I did make sure to use the same sliders throughout the whole process, but the field goals power stuff probably should be bumped up a little bit. Those are makeable field goals for those guys. Robert Tonyan with his 3rd reception of the day, right in front of Christian Watson. A couple of defenders collide into each other. Nothing nefarious. Rodgers wide on that one, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Those 2 picks for Rodgers coming deep in Cowboys territory. The last one ending a drive that could have ended with a field goal attempt. The other one was a float pass into the end zone on the opening drive of the game. Opening Packers drive. And that was following a horrendous Dallas drive. There is a nice catch by Christian Watson, who's been busy here in these last couple of quarters. Tonyan was getting close to that area as well, and he brought a couple of other defenders into that catch zone. A handoff to Jones. Kind of a fake, little, pop pass, quarterback weird read option. 2 yards for Jones as the Packers find themselves down by 8 here late in this one. Rodgers looks, fires, and that was another, looks like maybe it was a misread. Again, that throw was wide to the left. And the defender had a better read on where that ball was going than the receiver did. That could have been interception number 3, and that might have really doomed Green Bay. Rodgers, a little pump fake, throws it deep, and that is going to be caught down by the 15, 16-yard line for Romeo Doubs. Green Bay is racking up all these yards, but now we're going to get into that danger territory where we've seen Green Bay struggle not only throughout the regular season in real life, but here in this what-if scenario. I don't know what it is, but a couple of turnovers for Green Bay deep in Cowboys territory today. They struggled against the Eagles. I didn't even get the sentence out of my mouth. I didn't get the sentence out of my mouth. It is the most Brett Favrean throw he could have looked for. There wasn't a receiver within 8 yards of that dude. Look at how clean that picture is. There's no one there. 3 turnovers for the Green Bay Packers, and that one might doom them. Inside the 20, like it's like Rodgers' rating drops inside the 20 to like a 12. And he's just a confused man back there. It's interesting to watch that last play. He'd been pretty comfortable in the pocket throughout most of those drives. Got inside the 20 and all of a sudden got really antsy. Tried to roll to his left. It was off his back foot, across his body, well short of the receiver going deep. Way too inside for the receiver breaking toward the sideline, and an interception touchdown will more than likely doom the Packers' chances at a magical Super Bowl run. And instead, I have to watch the Dallas Cowboys for a third time, which makes me miserable and not ever want to do this again, if I'm being honest with you. So now all I could do is hop on the Bengals bandwagon and hope that they can beat the Cowboys. Nixon up to the 26-yard line. Green Bay will take over. That is the 3rd interception for Aaron Rodgers today. The last 2 specifically have been really bad throws, with maybe some confusion on the receiver side for the 2nd interception of the game. The first one was a diving attempt in the end zone, or whatever it was. The second one was a diving attempt. I think the first one was just kind of a... Doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers with a deep drop. You can see him stand there in the pocket. And that is going to be a big bomb down the right side of the field. And that's exactly what Green Bay needs. They're obviously going to need another stop from their defense, but 42-yard gain down to the 30-yard line. He was calm, collected, patient in the pocket that time. Jones stuffed at the line. They've done a better job containing Aaron Jones, the Cowboys defense has, over the last couple of drives. The last couple of touches, I should say. Where it gets dicey if you're a Green Bay fan. Rodgers pass up to Lewis. Lewis's first reception of the day comes with inside of 4 minutes to go in quarter number 4. Jones tries to get there but can't. 20 rushes, 82 yards for Jones, but he has not had much success on his last 3 or 4 touches. Instead of a 4th down and 3, there's no reason Green Bay should be kicking a field goal here. It does you no good. Fourth down and 3, right up the gut with player in the fullback position. It's going to be a tight end. Agora. This is where Green Bay needs to get their tempo. If they can get this score by the 2-minute warning, I think they're in much better shape. Get that extra stop of the clock, maybe save themselves a timeout. Rodgers throws, finds a receiver inside the 5, and that is Alan Lazard, who has been an absolute stud today. 5 receptions, 70 yards. We've called his name consistently throughout this game. We have not called Randall Cobb's name at all. We are going to hit the 2-minute warning this game again. Just not really much of a sense of urgency here. Rodgers throws, fires well short of where are you going? They're going to call that a loss of 2. That's an abysmal throw. What is happening? Not really much of a sense of urgency here. No huddle, though. They still ran a bunch of time off the clock. There's nobody really on that receiver in the slot to the top side of the screen. Rodgers throws, fires, touchdown. Robert Tonyan with the grab, and this is where I think you kick it deep. I don't think you can give them a chance. A field goal puts you out of commission here. So kick it deep. I agree with the point after touchdown here. Kick is good. There's really no symbol for it. I also don't take the scoreboard down, so the ball is behind there most of the time. There's no reason to go for an onside kick here. Kick it deep. You got 3 timeouts. A first down is going to about end the game. And it comes down to a terrible Aaron Rodgers throw. And that pick 6. Otherwise, they were probably they had to go for 2 on that last drive. And that is what you want to see. Kind of a pooch kick. It's a little weird how short those are, but here it is. The game rests in the hands of the Green Bay Packers defense. 3 timeouts. First down ends it. 28-20 score here. They'll hand it to Ezekiel Elliott. They'll gain 2 and a timeout. Hand the ball off again. Elliott's gonna he'll get 6. Timeout. I think this is interesting because if Dallas and Philadelphia, I believe they split the season series this year, but the win that Dallas had was at home and was with Gardner Minshew as a starting quarterback. No disrespect to Gardner Minshew, huge fan. I have your Jacksonville Jaguars jersey. Throw here for Dallas. This is dangerous for them. He's going to go deep left side. Caught by CeeDee Lamb, but it's broken up. It was in his hands, and it got knocked out. It's 4th and 2. I don't know why you're throwing the ball in that scenario. A first down ends the game. The incompletion saves Green Bay a timeout. And it is 4th down. Ezekiel Elliott has had an incredible game throughout today. And I don't know why that play happened. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I do think that this is an interesting look at it, because what if another team is able to take out Philadelphia? Can Dallas really match up against San Francisco, win, and then match up against the number 1 seed and win, both on the road? I think they split the season series against the Eagles, but I'm not 100% sure. And even the game that they won against the backup quarterback was still pretty close. Don't love the throw there up to the 21-yard line. 2nd down and 2, under a minute to go. You got to pick up the pace. I don't know why this game is broken. I can't press X to advance anything. I hate all of this. Like, they give you a no huddle. It doesn't matter. You've wasted 20 seconds. You got to be on the ball. Why are you throwing the ball so short? You have 71 yards to go and a timeout. I hate watching these games. This is the same thing we've seen in NFL Fever, which is a game from 20 years ago. And it is still plaguing Madden. Look, I get it. You don't want to put any money in your game unless it gets you MUT production. All of this is broken. It doesn't make sense. It is unrealistic to what would actually be happening on the field. Green Bay's gained a total of 16 yards in 50 some odd seconds. Are you kidding me? So Green Bay without any timeouts is pretty much cooked here. Aaron Rodgers drops back. He's looking. He's going to throw a pretty deep pass down the right side. It's going to be caught, but knocked out of the hands of the receiver there. Looks like it was Watson, the intended receiver. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating that this part comes down to this. And we saw this in the first half as well, with Dallas not being able to get the field goal off, where you look at it and you're like, people have better awareness than this. Why is this game written in this way on a code perspective to not realize the situation? And I get it. I'm not playing Madden Ultimate Team, so who cares? Oh my God, we might have a pass interference, which you never see. It's a 59-yard pass interference, which you don't ever see on a Hail Mary like that. So 2 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 12. I mean, look, even if Green Bay's able to win this game, I feel like I should be putting Dallas in the Super Bowl regardless. Rodgers to the end zone, and it didn't matter. Again, inside the 20, Rodgers really struggled. Cowboys are going to come away victorious, and they will be the NFC representative for Super Bowl number, I believe it's 57. 28-20, your final. Aaron Rodgers, the difference in this one in that he threw 3 interceptions, all of them in the red zone. Actually, the third one might have been a little bit outside the red zone, but they were all deep inside Cowboys territory, and that is pretty heinous. When you come away with 0 points, I mean, the field goal could have made it, whatever it was, to 16, 20 to 16. Cowboys, though, the wire-to-wire winners, and they will be the NFC representative. And now Aaron Rodgers will come to the podium and say, I got to think about it a lot. We are going to Kansas City, and we are going to watch Kansas City take on Cincinnati. Cincinnati has beaten Kansas City the last 3 times these teams have met. Joe Burrow, an absolute mad lad. And we will give this one the 6:30 start time. Why would you adjust the start time? And since we're so far out, I don't really need to. Oop. There's your thumbnail, my own self. So Cincinnati will be first to receive this kick. And they're going to get a really nice return up to the 29-yard line. Actually thought it was going to be a little bit better, but Evans with a nice return there. Cincinnati won at home in an absolutely wild game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they were able to overcome a ton of turnovers. So we'll see what they can do on the road against Kansas City. Like I said, they have won against Kansas City the last 3 times these teams have met inside a calendar year as a bonus. This could be an AFC Championship preview. In real life, Bengals play in Buffalo this weekend. Kansas City home against those upstart Jacksonville Jaguars, who had a 27-point comeback in the wild card round. Joe Burrow looks at a 2nd and 4. From the shotgun, fires down the right sideline. That's going to be caught but broken up. T. Higgins on the reception there. Had it in his hands, but couldn't hold on. 3rd down and 4. Oh, and that one is dropped by Joe Mixon. So we don't see Joe Mixon run the ball on this opening drive, which might be a bit of a mistake. And we do see him drop a pass right at the line of the game. 4th down and 4, so the Bengals come out and are a little bit flat on offense. But they were pretty flat in the opening chunk against the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Won that game 28-26, which was pretty wild. A huge hole for McKinnon, the running back for the Chiefs. So the 1st and 10 pass goes to the right side. It'll be a gain of 7. Mahomes with his first completion of the day. And that's going to be Marquez Valdez-Scantling, former Green Bay Packer, picking up 7. Pre-ordered the digital deluxe version of Forspoken. A couple hours of gameplay should go up on Wednesday, or will go up on Wednesday. With a bigger chunk potentially on Friday as well, the 25th and the 27th. Mahomes a deep pass, and he'll find McCole Hardman, who's going to make a couple men miss, and for some reason went inside to initiate contact. And we're seeing the Bengals struggle in the same way that the Packers struggled defensively, where it's just perfect passing from the opposing quarterback, wide open receivers. Going to have a missed tackle there, a really weird angle to even try and get a tackle there. The Chiefs are going to go with one of their patented cutesy plays, read well by the Bengals defense. A loss of, I think, 2 there on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Oh, a fumble, and I think Cincinnati recovered. They did. The booth is going to take a look at it. We weren't going to see any sort of replay. The ruling on the field's overturned, though, somehow. So Cincinnati catches a break, but then gets it taken away from them. Third down and goal from the 8-yard line. And sacked in the backfield is Patrick Mahomes. And they should we should see a field goal attempt here to put Kansas City up 3-0. Looks like Hendrickson and Hubbard combining on the tackle there. There's Hubbard. I believe it's Hendrickson, number 91. Kick is up and the kick is good. Gonna find such clean audio for this E-rated video game. Kansas City takes over from the 30-yard line, and they will they find themselves down by 3. A nice run by Mixon off the left side. One rush for 6 yards. Burrow with a nice completion. I believe that is Jamar Chase on the reception there. Second completed pass of the day. 2 for 4. Jamar Chase, one reception with that 26 yards. Real quick little mesh route. Kind of got the defenders bunched up on each other. Freed up Jamar Chase to get a big play down the left side. Mixon falls forward, and he'll be down to 2nd and inches. Really nice gain there for Joe Mixon. Play action pass. Burrow finds a man in the flat. That's going to be short of the line to gain. I don't love that play right there. I like the play action, but I mean, it's 2nd and inches. Just go for it. Just plow forward. Mixon's looked good on this drive here with a couple of touches. This will be the interesting decision here. Oh God, empty backfield. Okay, I guess if the defenders are going to play that far off Jamar Chase, that's pitch and catch right there. But I was curious. It was 3rd and inches. We saw New England go for it and fail early in the game in the divisional round. How could that have affected the decision-making for Cincinnati? New England lost by 3. You could have had it tied up with that... with a field goal right there. Another not great pass by Burrow. And a couple of his completions have been negative. T. Boyd, 1 reception for -4 yards. Let that go. Burrow finds Mixon for 6. He'll find himself 6 for 8 for 37 yards. Though I think he was like 2 for something for like 36. These last 3 completions have been real bad. 2 rushes as opposed to about 6 runs for Cincinnati, and they're going to find a big 3rd and 8 here. Burrow's going to run forward. He's going to try and get to the first down marker, but not quite going to get there. 1 rush, 8 yards for Burrow, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 1. Cincinnati went for it. They hand it off to Mixon, and he'll find the first down yardage down to the 13-yard line. Here's a look at the replay. Pretty easy. Jones got to him. He was the first guy and only guy needed to take him down, but with 4th and 1 being such a short down and distance, it's an easier pickup. A flex Mixon out to the flat, excuse me. Line him up as a receiver. Fire over the middle, and that is number 85, Higgins, excuse me. 83. Boyd is 85. Higgins is 83. Nope. I confused myself. I was trying to be correct. Damn it. Higgins 85, Boyd 83. And the Cincinnati Bengals respond to the Chiefs' touchdown, or a field goal, excuse me, with a touchdown. Now my brain's all backwards on everything. 10-play, 71-yard drive, 4.5 minutes. We are under 1 to go here in quarter number 1 of this AFC title game. Super Bowl is coming up next, so stick around. That dog do be making the noise. So McPherson will line up for the kickoff, and he will boot it down to about the 9-yard line. And here is where the run back will start. Up to the 29 with 45 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. That is where Kansas City will take over. Thanks everybody for the support on the channel, by the way. 15 subscribers or so from 1,500, which is pretty wild. Means a lot. I appreciate it. Keep it going up to 2,000. Pratt with the tackle, and that'll be a 4-yard gain. Play clock and game clock nearly identical. Nice find by Mahomes out in the flat. McKinnon will pick up a first down, and that will end quarter number 1. 7-3 the score. And I should mention that two of those victories for Kansas City, or two of those victories for Cincinnati over Kansas City were the Bengals trailed by double digits. So the Bengals, more than any team, have had this Kansas City team's number. Patrick Mahomes takes the snap and then just whips it to Mecole Hardman. 6 for 6, 82 yards. And second down and 4 coming up. Hardman with his second reception of the day. Fires over the middle, finds another receiver there, and Mahomes has not missed a throw yet. Valdez-Scantling on the receiving end of that one. Second reception of the day for him, and Mahomes was at 7 for 7. Ugh, that is not good. Cincinnati defense, maybe they're just playing the bend but don't break style. It worked to hold them to a field goal last time, but this offense is a little too explosive for that to work consistently. Third rush for Paccio. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. He'll gain 7, though, up to the 25-yard line. There's another run right up the middle, met but driven backwards was a defender. Looked like he was met like a couple yards past the line of scrimmage, but he was driven backwards. Nice job by the running back to keep those legs churning and pick up that first down at the 22. McKinnon picks up 1 on that one. Looks like they're going for the two-headed monster or just kind of sticking with the hot hand. Mahomes does some hip flips, and he'll find. Oh my goodness, is that's McKinnon? 19-yard gain. Look at the separation there. Nice job by the Bengals defense to at least prevent the touchdown. And they will face a first and goal from the 2-yard line. Mahomes, it's going to be incomplete. I am surprised that was a dropped pass. It was a beautiful play-action pass and had exactly what he wanted, but for whatever reason just could not come up with the ball. The first incompletion of Mahomes' day should have been a touchdown. Second and goal. And they will rush it right up the middle. Nobody even touched him. Will tie that'll give the Kansas City Chiefs the lead. Extra point pending here. Look at that. Seal here, run there. And that is how you score a touchdown. Kick is up and good. I don't know who gets like home jerseys for is this game broken? What is happening? Ugh. Returned up to the 29-yard line, and the Bengals will start their second drive of the game. Both Kansas City and Cincinnati with long drives. It was only Kansas Natty's. It was only Kansas City's second drive of the game. We are almost to the halfway point of the second quarter. Burrow and the Bengals on offense again. Burrow with a dangerous throw. Done a good job to get away from the pressure, and at least it's an incomplete pass in the second down and 10, rather than a second down and longer with a sack. reaching grab there for a 5-yard gain. And that is Hurst, his third reception for 10 yards. So here we go, big 3rd down and 5. Cincinnati surrendered the touchdown on the long drive to Kansas City last time. You don't want to put that defense back on the field quite this quickly, I would think. Burrow's going to try and roll to his right, but he rolled to his left, I apologize. Rolled to my right, rolled to his left. He gets sacked either way. I mean, that's a pretty clean pocket. He's got to step up and go through that gap between 73 and 64. Guard and tackle, I'm not exactly sure which positions are which sometimes. Step up through the gap. Don't try to go around. So Kansas City will get the ball back. That did not take a whole lot of time off the clock, and they are cooking with long drives on their first 2. So let's see what Kansas City has this time around. Mahomes with the play-action pass, deep throw down the middle, and that'll be number 83 up to the 50-yard line. Actually, they'll give him across to the 48-yard line. There was just nobody there. No one even close to Mahomes. No defender close to Gray on the reception. Rushing yards are even, but the passing yards are almost tripled for Kansas City. Pushed back, and that'll give Kansas City the slightest edge in the rushing totals by 1 yard. 2nd down and 9 from the 47 coming. Throw deep down the field. Beautifully broken up by the Cincinnati back end. Not sure who that was, but we'll set up a 3rd down and 9. A terrific defensive play there. Mahomes fires down the left side. It's going to be caught, but he's just too far out of bounds. So Cincinnati's defense does a nice job, takes advantage of a bad Mahomes throw there on 3rd down and 9. But a terrific defensive play on 2nd and 9. And they will get off the field and give their offense a chance with 3:53 to go. Cincinnati had the ball first. So I guess that last one would have been the 3rd drive for the Bengals. I completely forgot about that first one. My bad. I goofed. So a 2-yard rush there for Joe Mixon. Now we get that clock moving towards halftime in this AFC title game. This running back split to Burrow's right. Burrow scans the field, steps up, throws, finds a wide open T. No, that's Boyd. That is Tyler Boyd. And that is a monster gain. That is what you need when you got the pressure coming off the edge like that. Step up in the pocket. Wide open receiver. Yak. The good stuff, and they are in Kansas City territory just like that. 2:47 to go here with the moving clock. Mixon to Burrow's right. So wait, Cincinnati, I'm just kind of putting this together. Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow. Green Bay and Cincinnati both have quarterbacks and running backs with the same first name. Aaron Jones to Aaron Rodgers. Or Aaron Rodgers to Aaron Jones. Probably going to be Jordan Love soon. Oh, shoot. Speaking of football, I forgot to call my mom. Joe Burrow steps up, fires, and that was kind of a dangerous throw. Looks like he got kind of hit as he threw, but he still finds the completion to Boyd, and that is, just like that, a first down. All right, 2 minutes to go in half number 1. Cincinnati can tie it here with a field goal. They can take the lead, obviously, with a touchdown, 14-10. Kansas City will get the ball first after the break, so I feel points are important for these Bengals so they don't fall too far behind. Burrow in the shotgun, 2 receivers split to the top side of the screen. It's like maybe a single receiver down at the bottom is Jamar Chase. There is a nice find to, I believe that's Hurst. It is Hurst, number 88. I'm trying to think of the other tight end's name for the Bengals, and I'm totally blanking on it. I think it's 85, which I keep thinking is Robert Tonyan. I'm like, nope, he plays for the Packers. Haven't heard much from Jamar Chase, but that does give the other players an opportunity because he's going to be probably pretty routinely doubled. There's number 85. Higgins. He actually might be a wide receiver. That is a terrific grab. Hit as he threw, picking it off his shoelaces. Get it down to the 13-yard line. Burrow rolls to his right, fires, finds, I believe that's Hurst again for a nice gain. Second down and four. Second down and four. Second down and 4. Hayden Hurst. I believe I called him the wrong first name earlier. I apologize. It's a good thing I'm not like taking shots. Every time I make a mistake, I get a player's name wrong. Take a shot. That's actually not a bad drunk video. Rolls to his left. He's going to get sacked back near the 18-yard line. I was going to say the 20, but then the number popped up. Back by the 20-yard line, and it's the second time we've seen Burrow, instead of trying to step up in the pocket, he tries to roll one way, and that's where the defense gets him. Granted, did not have a lot of room up the middle that time, so might have been a sack either way. You can see actually the Kansas City Royal Stadium in that shot. That's pretty cool. They had to call San Diego studio, like, hello, baseball makers? Hello? Yes, we need some assets. Burrow, lots of time in the pocket, fires towards the end zone. It's Jamar Chase. He's going to be stopped just short. He'll be at the 1-yard line. Cincinnati did not need to take a time out there. They have all kinds of time, 54 seconds at this end of the field. Oh, but Sean, they didn't have enough time on the other side of the field. Yeah, because there was like 90 yards that they had to go, okay? You watch your beloved favorite team lose to a team that you mega loathe. Jumbo set here for Cincinnati, mixing the deep back. They'll hand it to the up man, and that's a touchdown. Touchdown for number 84, Wilcox. I think that's who I was trying to think of, the other name. I mean, he does just break that play, and that's all you got to do. 13-10, extra point pending. It is up, and McPherson is good. He did miss an extra point in the playoffs against the Ravens, but he has been an absolute money kicker for these Cincinnati Bengals. I think people overblew how upset the Bengals actually were that he went and watched the halftime show, because I don't think it matters at all. He's a kicker. My gut would be, if I were a player on the team, and I look at the kicker and I go, okay, you've made every field goal this postseason. You have won us some games, been incredible. I don't care. If you're missing field goals and doing this stuff, then then it's a problem. But I don't know. I feel like people really... Oh, I'm sure they blew it out of proportion. And I'm sure you got I don't remember, but I'm sure you got the quotes from the Bengals who were like, yeah, we handled it internally. They probably called them into the coach's office and like, we do not care. You're making kicks. That's what matters. And aren't kickers usually, they're the first ones out of the tunnel anyway, after halftime, doing some warm-up stuff, so they're out of the way of the offensive and defensive players. I was going to say the regular players, then I realized it sounded kind of mean. So it just doesn't, it never made sense to me. Nice catch by Kansas City. I'll take a timeout quickly here up to the 42. Valdez-Scantling on the reception with 43 seconds to go. Eli Apple with a nice sure-handed tackle. Oh, it's off of Hubbard's. It's right off Hubbard's face mask. Floated up into the air and is incomplete. So it'll be second down and 10. Oh, made a Cincinnati Bengal defender look silly on that one. Gets driven out of bounds. That's Travis Kelce. Oh, the weird collision detection strikes again. Huge fan of this Frostbite engine. And I think that's the first time we've called Kelce's name today. Down to the 45 with plenty of time to try and get a field goal. Touchdown is obviously not out of the question either, but Hardman, I believe, on the reception. Let's see another timeout here. That Kansas City Royals Stadium to the left. You can just see the top of it. Mahomes finds a wide open McKinnon, and he'll be down inside the 10. Smacked down at the 7-yard line. First down and goal. Mercifully, this time the Kansas City Chiefs use a timeout. We did see the Dallas Cowboys get kind of screwed out of 3 points toward the end of the game because of clock mismanagement that wasn't entirely their fault. So Kansas City with an opportunity to double dip here. A touchdown would make it 17-14. A second touchdown would make it 24-14. Mahomes rushes, throws out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. 13 for 18, 196 yards for Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes looking, firing. He's going to be short. Oh, just kidding. He spun his way into the end zone. It's a touchdown, Kansas City. Smith-Schuster, that's his last name. Smith-Schuster has to get a touchdown here. There's no way they have enough time to get up and spike it. That is a huge missed tackle and a terrific offensive play. And that will give us the 17-14 halftime score, barring something absolutely wild. But you just cannot give Patrick Mahomes any time. 39 seconds all the way down the field, using timeouts well, and not doing what the dumb Cowboys did, and blowing an opportunity for some form of points. So the kickoff is returned up to the 29 or the 30 they'll give him this time. I feel like that's about the average starting field for Cincinnati throughout this game following the kickoffs. So an entertaining first half comes to a close. Let's see if they do anything. Oh, they will. I think in most games you would just see a knee here. You don't want to get anybody getting injured on a play that likely isn't going to matter. Burrow steps up, wings it downfield, and that will be, they'll call that a late breakup, and it'll be halftime. 17-14 our score here. Green Bay got the benefit of a 58-yard pass interference, and it's too bad Cincinnati could not do the same, because that would have given them a field goal opportunity with one untimed down on a defensive penalty. But none of that matters because there wasn't a penalty. Here we go, second half underway. Nice job by the Bengals coverage team to give the Kansas City Chiefs a pretty bad starting field position. Not a good run back at all. Looks like breaking to that sideline isn't as advantageous as you might think. First and 10 from the 19. Good opportunity here for Cincinnati to try and get off the field quickly and give their team the ball back down just 3. They've been playing bend but don't break all day. But they've broken a couple of times, especially that 39-second drive toward the end of the first half. Rush defense has been pretty solid, only 30 yards given up to the Kansas City Chiefs. Most of that to McKinnon, the other running back, number 10, whose last name I'm not sure how to pronounce, has not been as effective running the ball. Mahomes under center. It's going to be tipped at the line and incomplete. I'm a little surprised he went there and not Kelsey to his right. Kelsey went up and broke out to the sideline immediately with nobody anywhere near him. Big third down for Cincinnati's defense to try and get off the field here. Mahomes hit his own offensive lineman with that throw. The way he ran was not the cleanest route up through that gap, and that forced an incomplete pass and a punt. So 2 yards on that drive in 40 seconds, considering that they got 70 whatever yards in the 39 seconds. Pretty inferior drive. You got to go the outside of that block there. Try and pick up some more yards. Taylor with an okay run back to the 35-yard line, and that is where Cincinnati will start. They'll need 40 yards for a shot at a field goal. 45 to tie the game. Obviously, you keep track of that with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Joe to Joe, and that'll go for 1. 15-19, 138 yards, and a touchdown for Joe Burrow. And if you take a couple of those completions out, you actually would have more yards. He had a negative 1 yard completion and a negative 4 yard completion. Burrow deep shot down the left sideline, tipped and tipped again. We saw that in a couple of games in a row. A defender tipped the ball up and then to themselves for an interception. I thought we were going to see another one, but it falls harmlessly to the turf, taking a deep shot to Jamar Chase that time. Burrow to the outside. That'll be caught and tackled immediately, and there he is, Jamar Chase. 4 receptions, 59 yards. Burrow with a quick pass to Hurst. Hurst been busy throughout the afternoon and evening. 6 receptions, 30 yards. He's picking up those good chunks. They're solid, half the first down, right? He's a terrific security throw, and just, you got me 5. Second down and medium. Bang. 2 complete passes to Hurst, and every time you're getting a first down. There's another nice throw for, again, a short gain, but a nice catch by Mixon. You can see there he reached his hands out to his left, snagged that one. We'll take a look at it. A little off target, but a nice throw, and that'll get him up to the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Hand off to Mixon. This time he's going to break through a couple of guys and absolutely clotheslined as he nears the 30-yard line and the 1st down marker, but it'll be 2nd and 1. Cincinnati here with a short pass, and that is a nice design play. I like that. Just quick throw to the tight end. That's Wilcox on the reception. And there is the 1st down you're looking for. This drive is starting to eat up some clock here. About 3 minutes so far. Going to bring Jamar Chase in tight. Oh, Wilcox was... Oh, no, it's a terrible throw, and he throws a pick. Oh, we had Wilcox just like Mahomes had Kelsey. Just an easy break to the outside, and instead it's over the middle, and it's intercepted. A huge drive comes up empty with Joe Burrow throwing an interception there. 4 yards for Kansas City on that 1st down run. Oh my goodness, I thought for sure he would go outside. I think it was Wilcox had all kinds of room, and I think that's the difference that bringing Jamar Chase inside, you adjust the defense a little bit. A couple of people try to go with him. Maybe it's not communicated clearly on the back end who needs to take the tight end, and then bam, you got a decent play there. So that was a really unnecessarily quick throw, and it's going to give Kansas City the ball back with 3 minutes. A 3-point lead, 5 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. Second down and 8. Mahomes in the shotgun. Fires over the middle, and that is going to be a contested catch for number 17, and that is Hardman, Mecole Hardman. And Bates on the tackle as soon as the ball hit his hands. There's a nice run off that left side. He'll be just short of the 1st down marker, and McKinnon continues to look good even though he hasn't had as many opportunities to run the ball. It's been pretty even between the 2 running backs as far as rushing attempt numbers, but the yards have been much more in favor of McKinnon throughout this one. Mahomes takes the snap, and it's going to be a kind of a long play action. They'll find Kelsey wide open at the 11. And it will be 1st down and 10. So they will try the running game again. And unfortunately for Cincinnati, Sam Hubbard injured on that play. That's a big loss. Hubbard's a big part of that Cincinnati defensive line. looked like he was not even looking where he was running. 9 rushes, 19 yards. Does have the touchdown. Taylor Britt with the tackle there. Yards actually might be more even than I realize. I just feel like McKinnon has had the more explosive rushes, and Kansas City doesn't have a ton of rushing yards. It looked like there was an excellent shot for a sack there, but the defender re-engaged with the offensive lineman, which looked a little weird. Mercifully, it didn't harm the Bengals too much, as that throw was out of the back of the end zone, and we should see a field goal attempt here. This will be a 29-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Kansas City extends their lead to 6, and the turnover it just leads to a field goal, and it's still a 1-score lead. 2:08 to go here in the third quarter. We got the Super Bowl coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Thanks again so much for watching. YouTube.com/Shawnosaurus Rex. Kick is away. And it will be returned to the 22. And we've seen a couple of kickoff returns now from both Kansas City and Cincinnati, where they've tried to break it to the outside and maybe try and find some space, but the coverage unit just too good on that outside, and it's actually cost them some yards. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Kansas City with a considerable lead in total yards, though the rushing game is pretty even. That is a nice run all the way up to the 35-yard line, so that's a 13-yard gain. 202 total yards for Cincinnati. Maybe turn around and just kind of hand the ball off a little bit. Ride Mixon down the field. Cincinnati had such a great drive going before they threw that interception last time out. Looks like they'll be throwing the ball here. Joe Burrow, all by himself, finds number one, his number one, and probably everyone's number one, Jamar Chase. Big fan of Jamar Chase. Whoa, big hole from Mixon as he'll get near the first down marker all the way up at the 40-yard line. And he has looked real good on this drive. Burrow with a deep drop, fires to the left side, finds, I believe that is Jamar Chase again. And that'll be a nice completion. We saw this in the Baltimore game. The defenders played off of Chase pretty far because of how much of a threat he posed to explosive plays. And I'm sure as a defense, you look at it and you go, hey, we'll give you the 5 yards. That's fine. We just don't want you taking our top off here. There is a throw, and it's incomplete. That one again intended for Chase. Cincinnati don't want to turn the ball over again here. We're getting late in this third quarter. We're going to go right back to him. Jamar, and Jamar again. another reception. He'll get all the way down to the 11-yard line. And that was an easy play. I mean, everything you do is, I'm sure being a football player is not easy, but they made that look easy. It looked like it was exactly where he wanted to go. Threaded that needle perfectly, and that'll get them just outside of a goal to go to situation. First down at the 1. As we hit quarter number 4, 20-14, Kansas City leads. They're going to turn around, hand it off to Mixon. Mixon kind of trips himself up on his own offensive lineman's feet. He'll pick up 1. It'll be second down and 10. Burrow over the middle. Oh, if he just gets turned around a smidge quicker. It's still a nice play by Higgins. Is this 4-down territory for the Bengals? I mean, 3 is still valuable. Of course, you do have Joe Cool in the backfield as your quarterback. We'll throw it over the middle. It's caught. Touchdown, Bengals. We're all locked up at 20, and that is Higgins. No, Tyler Boyd. It's Boyd. I threw myself off. I confused the numbers again. Yeah, I said Boyd. I corrected myself to Boyd. McPherson's kick is up, and the kick is good. That is a monstrous momentum swing right there. Cincinnati 21, Kansas City 20. Whew. Got a thriller down here in Kansas City. Is it Kansas or Missouri? Where do they play? I don't even know. NFL World reacts to the Justin Herbert announcement. I got to stop clicking on these because they...
Let's go, boy. Let's go. Get something together.
They just keep getting them, and it's... I don't need them. I don't need them. All right. Kansas City. Where does Kansas City? First and 10 will be from the 28-yard line. He went a little more in the middle that time and picked up a few extra yards. So 8:54 to go here. Kansas City can obviously take the lead with a field goal. Is there a stadium? Oops. Gia Field at Arrowhead. Oh, Kansas City, Missouri. Ooh, it closes in 24 minutes. Everybody get there as quickly as possible. It's open basically 9 to 5. It's located at 48 Red Coat Lane, Kansas City, Missouri. Interesting. How can you can't give a stadium 1 star because the heat was over 100 degrees? Stop it! Stop it! That's absurd. All right, here we go. We're locked in on a football game here. Second down and 4 after Jerick McKinnon picks up some yards. 6-yard pickup. I was hoping that the public address announcer would announce that in a different way. Oh, they're going to try and roll out, but Hubbard's going to get there in the backfield. And that will be, he has a sack and a half, and that's a big one, forcing what was a 2nd and 4 into a 3rd and 13. One of their, I think it was Hubbard, was injured earlier in the game, so it's good to see him back on the field. We don't get a lot of injury updates. I mean, this game is just kind of kind of a presentational mess. Fire it over the middle. The Bengals rally, and they'll stop him short. It's a 10-yard gain, but you need a 13. 4th and 3 coming up. I mean, with Kansas City, you never know. Especially with what feels like just a wild card human being, Andy Reid, and an absolutely terrific quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, even though I'm tired of him. The kick is pretty okay. It didn't really go very far. It didn't get it deep enough. They'll start at the 20-yard line. Full momentum happening here for the Bengals up at the top of the screen. Do we have two 28-20 final scores happening? If Bengals get a touchdown, we might be well on our way. Burrow, he's going to hand the ball off to Joe Mixon, and Mixon will fight all the way up to the 30-yard line. 10 rushes, 68 yards for Mixon, whose left arm is stuck in the ball-carrying animation, so good for them. Burrow's in the backfield. His X is on fire. He's going to throw it over the middle. Dangerous pass with the defender right in front, but Higgins comes up with the catch. It will be 2nd down and 7. Clock continues to move here. All by himself again in the backfield, and he's going to go right back to Higgins. That'll set up a 3rd down and 1. We'd love to see just a run play to Mixon. I'm a little surprised that they've gone just pass these first couple of plays. Mixon's been good in the backfield. And they will again leave Burrow back there by himself. Kansas City's going to send an extra couple of rushers, but it's going to vacate a zone, and that is going to be an easy completion to Hurst up to the 47-yard line, and that's a 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. You wonder if Burrow looks at it and goes, okay, Hurst is going to run this route. If this guy drops, easy completion. I mean, that would be how you'd want to read it, right? They're going to stay going through the air. They're going to find Hurst again. He's inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Field goal is important for Cincinnati. It means they have to, Kansas City has to get a touchdown, so got to be extra careful with the ball here. Send Mixon out to a receiver setup. And Hurst again pretty open toward that sideline. That's where they'll go. He'll catch it right on the boundary. A gain of 2. The interception, that's the throw you want instead of that interception. But the problem here is you want to keep this clock moving. Keep it going. I mean, Mahomes doesn't need a lot of time, but you got to keep it ticking away. There's a run from Mixon right up the middle. That's a 1st down at the 27-yard line. 11 rushes, 76 yards. And a potential Cowboys-Bengals matchup could be pretty interesting. We've seen both of these teams be effective and balanced throughout the playoff run. Cincinnati did have a really rough first quarter in that divisional matchup, which could be a problem. They find Mixon again working for the screen play, but not a whole lot doing there. The completed pass, though, does keep it churning. We're going to start working this clock all the way down. 2nd down and 11. Throws over the middle, finds a receiver. It's Higgins again. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Joe Cool coming through. Nice job. Boyd's route kind of clears out that area, and That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati up by 1. I think at this point you have to get a touchdown, because you might not get enough time to respond to a potential touchdown. A field goal. Oh, it looked so good. I thought that was going to be a free and clear rush. We're not going to get a replay because of the timeout. It looked like that blocker had taken out 2 of the defenders, but one of them stayed on their feet and was able to make the stop. Oh, it's right up the middle for Joe Mixon, and that'll be a 1st and goal. Is that the 3rd and final timeout, or no? It's just a 2nd charge timeout for Kansas City. Hand the ball off. A little surprised to not see... Oh, look, we're under the stands there. Thank God they called the timeout, otherwise we would have been looking at a weird shot for the next 15 seconds or whatever it is. I don't think Cincinnati actually has to really, like, run another play. Mahomes is not on the field. Hand the ball off to Mixon. Mixon's going to be stopped short. That's a bad play on Kansas City's part. I'm a little surprised. I mean, it's a video game, so I don't think they really understand the concept or whatever. But I think in some cases in this situation, if Cincinnati's not going to take a knee, because I don't think they can win, you might actually see Kansas City's defense in real life just let them score a touchdown. And Mixon's in. It's going to be a touchdown for Cincinnati. Just over a minute to go. So good usage of timeouts by Kansas City. 1:04 to go. Cincinnati did give up the touchdown. I thought actually he was going to get stopped because he ran right into Wilcox, but it didn't really matter. You can see his arm all the way back here, but the ball crosses the line. McPherson's kick is up, and it is good. 5:27, a 79-yard, 14-play drive. That's what you want to see to close out a championship game here. Kansas City did score on that 39-second drive right before the half. They'll need the 2-point conversion as well. The score was also 28-20. But if Cincinnati did not score there, 104, 103, minus 40 is 24 seconds left. I think then you kick the field goal for sure. Then you kick off. But then I was thinking, this game is not great with time, so Cincinnati might be like Green Bay was, kind of screwed here, but we'll see what happens. 1st down and 10. It's going to be from the 27-yard line. 73 yards is how far Kansas City needs to go. It's a throw to the left side. That'll be up to the 38 from Mahomes to Hardman. Bengals found themselves in this position in the last game. 28-20 was the score. Or did they win that 30-28? Doesn't matter. They found themselves in the position where they had to prevent a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They were able to do it against Jacksonville. Can they do it against an admittedly better Kansas City team? Hardman celebrates weirdly at the 45-yard line. The time is ticking away, and this game really showing the problems on the back end. They're going to maybe get a playoff here with like 10 seconds to go. And then kind of like the Green Bay game, you might want to just put Cincinnati in if there's a pass interference call. That is way too short. Doesn't even matter. Kansas City botches that final possession because they don't have the timeouts, and that'll do it. Cincinnati is now your back-to-back AFC champion in our little world here, and the Super Bowl will be the Bengals and the Cowboys. I don't know who would have the home field stuff, but since I think Dallas would probably just wear white anyway, we'll just go ahead and give Cincinnati the home team, and we'll give the Cowboys the away team. But I don't know for sure. I don't think it really matters because it's in a neutral site. There you go. Kansas City season could end. This is a real possibility because, and this would mean it's a real possibility because if Cincinnati beats Buffalo and Kansas City beats Jacksonville, they would meet in Kansas City for the AFC title for the second consecutive year. And this would mean that the Bengals have beaten these Kansas City Chiefs 4 consecutive times, which is a little absurd to think about, beating that team, having that number, especially as teams that don't play in the same division. 4 straight wins against like a division opponent, like sure, that makes sense. You see them twice a year, you get the better of them a couple years in a row. That number adds up real quick, but we shall see what happens. All right. It all comes down to this. The Bengals, the Cowboys. They are going to play for the NFL title in Super Bowl 57. Both teams have looked great throughout the playoffs. We'll see what they each bring to this game. That'll be coming up here in just a moment. While it goes to this little interstitial screen, be sure to make sure you're subscribed. You have the bell rung. You'll be notified when I post new videos. Thanks so much for watching, hanging out. I appreciate it. We'll be right back with more NFL action in just a moment. Welcome back to football. Thanks for continuing to hang out. Sometimes I forget. I'm used to like recording videos live on the internet, so I'm like, doesn't matter. We're going to jump into Super Bowl number 57 right now. Thanks again so much for hanging out. Hopefully you're having a good time. Let's get this started. We get the game style. We get, we want simulation. We get Super Bowl presentation. No even teams. 20 seconds on the clock. Let's go. Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals for your Super Bowl 57. Ooh, yes, excellent. They gave me a pretty good thumbnail there. There's no audio here because I have a bunch of stuff turned down. Joe Burrow looks to try and win a Super Bowl. I don't know why I totally blanked on that. Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl for the second consecutive year. Dallas Cowboys have not been to the Super Bowl in like 20 years plus, which is good news for me because I can't stand Dallas. Welcome to Arizona. Bengals, Cowboys. Joe Burrow I thought was in that last shot. Boy, that just does not look very good. And here you go. Thank God I don't need that thumbnail at all. Actually, okay, they'll give you a lot of moving parts here. Hard to get that exact thumbnail that I'm looking for. Coin flip is happening. Stuff is happening. Joe Burrow and the Bengals found themselves in Super Bowl 56. They came up short against the Rams, but they're here again looking to get that Lombardi trophy. We'll see how it goes. Both teams have played well throughout these playoffs. The Bengals with a couple of tight wins against some good teams. The Cowboys just dominated the Giants and then took down the Packers with the help of three interceptions, 3 Aaron Rodgers thrown. I should not have gotten up, apparently. My brain has just stopped working. A pick six really was the turning point for Dallas. It looked like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were going to try and make a comeback there, but terrible throw by Rodgers, and the Cowboys find themselves looking for a Lombardi. The Bengals will get the ball first. And they'll return this ball up to the 25-yard line. Here we go. Burrow, Mixon, and the Bengals coming out for their first possession. Jamar Chase. There's his 2021 stats, which aren't very helpful for this season, but okay. First down and 10. Burrow takes the low snap, hands off to Mixon. Mixon up to the 30-yard line. Both of these teams playing well in their last games, obviously winning those games. Both of those games were a 28-20 score, and both of these teams looked very balanced. The quarterbacks were on point. The running game looked great on both sides, and the defenses had trouble slowing them down. If I had to give an advantage to a team, I'd probably give the advantage to Dallas. They've looked a little bit more consistent throughout this playoff run. It does help when you play the Giants and you really clobber them, but the Bengals struggled offensively early in the game against Jacksonville. They gave up a lot of passes early to Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City. So Dallas has looked like the more complete team in the last couple of games, but we'll see what happens, obviously, here in Super Bowl 57. They bring in Jamar Chase. It's a jumbo set. They'll fire over the middle, and Chase has a reception. His second reception of the day. I was going to say first reception, but I was like, I don't actually remember who caught that other ball. That one goes for 9, and it is second and 1. What is sleep, you know? Burrow hands off to Mixon, and Mixon is dropped for a gain of 0 yards. I thought that was actually going to be a loss. They'll call it third down and 1. Going to float a pass out to Mixon, and that is going to go nowhere. That is actually going to lose 4 yards. And that is an unceremonious end to this Bengals offensive drive. There wasn't a whole lot of option there. So the Bengals will punt the ball away. And the Cowboys will field it, fair catch it at the 15-yard line. So Dak Prescott, he's going to come out onto the field with a good running back at his side as well. And that is Ezekiel Elliott. We'll see if Schultz, our guy who had a huge game in the divisional round, comes through. I don't think Schultz had a single reception in the last game, the championship game. But he was an important piece in that game against the Giants. Unfortunately, they were so far ahead of the Giants that it kind of felt like maybe it was an unnecessary piece, but you never know. Take those catches away, Who knows what happens? Dak Prescott drops and fires over the middle. There are 3 receivers in the general area of that reception. And somehow he's able to find number 85, Brown. I believe we called his name a couple of times again in that divisional round against the Giants, but not as big a piece of the puzzle. As you can see, 2 guys crossing. CD Lamb not too far behind. Interesting play there. I don't think Brown had much of an impact in the last game. That is okay. As long as you're catching when you're getting thrown to, should be all right. Jumbo set here on a 1st and 10. They'll hand to Elliott. Elliott will run right side. He'll pick up 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. And Elliott again off the right side. He'll get drugged down after another gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 2. The Cowboys right up the middle. I don't even know why I said the Bills. I guess I was thinking about the divisional games this weekend. But Cowboys right up the middle with Ezekiel Elliott, and he'll get enough for the 1st down. So they hand it off, gains of 4, 4, and 3. And since that equals 11, it's a 1st down. Players well known for just wearing their helmets on the sideline at all times. It's a weird, like a funny little thing that gets me. It's like they didn't model anybody without helmets on. Aaron Rodgers obviously always shaking the hand of Tom Brady out at midfield just with his helmet on. Elliott dropped for a loss of 3. That Bengal defense comes through big, forces 2nd and very long. There's the shot on the Microsoft Surface tablet that almost never is correct. I'll give it right back to Elliott, and Elliott will get the yards he lost and a few more. 5-yard run sets up a 3rd down and 8 from the 45-yard line. Both defenses looking good. Each team was able to get a 1st down, and then kind of stifled there in that 2nd chunk of downs. Cincinnati looks like they're going to send some pressure. They back off it, and they're going to give Dak Prescott a lot of time to throw the ball down the field. It's going to be caught but broken up late. And it's incomplete. 4th down and 8. I thought that was going to be a good completion, but a good close by the Cincinnati Bengals defense there to force the incompletion, and Burrow and the offense will come back out onto the field. That is not a good punt at all. They were going for the coffin corner, but that is barely a field position change at all. 1st and 10 coming from the 33-yard line. Considering that was punted, was maybe a 20-yard punt, 40-yard, 30-yard punt. Obviously, the number that comes after 20 is 40, not 30. Hand to Mixon. Mixon will gain 1. He's got 3 rushes, 6 yards. Burrow drops back. Free rusher coming for the Cowboys, but he can't get there in time. That's going to be Higgins, who's going to get a big gain there. Just get that first down at the 44-yard line. Burrow steps up, got hit after he threw, or as he was throwing that ball. 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And Burrow looks again to the flat for Mixon, and again it's a bad pass. Burrow's 5 for 5 for 18 yards, but a couple of really bad decisions. Joe Mixon has 2 receptions for -7 yards. So if you're Joe Burrow and you go 3 for 5, you have 22 yards instead of 15. Or whatever the number was. You're also not setting your team up for these terrible plays. Or terrible downs and distances. 2nd and 13. 2.5 to go in this one. There's a little flare to the side. Maybe like a delayed wide receiver screen. Chase has like every bit of the positive yards of Burrow's yards. A little float pass down the sideline. It's going to be tipped and broken up. Looks like he was going for Chase on that one. The Cowboys defense is going to get off the field. A 0-0 defensive battle here with under 2 to go in the first. Punt will be fair caught at the 14-yard line, and the Cowboys will come back out on the field. Cooper Rush giving Dak Prescott some pointers with his Surface tablet on the sideline. Hey, if I was starting, we might actually win. Dak Prescott drops back, fires to the flat, and the receiver was just down. Ezekiel Elliott got collided with or just fell down. I don't really know what happened there, but incomplete pass, receiver in the area. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Prescott with the delayed handoff. Maybe a read option there. Maybe a completed pass for 7 yards up to Ferguson with his first reception of this Super Bowl. Prescott dancing around, spinning around, and still manages to find a receiver. It's number 85, Brown, making his 2nd reception of the game, I believe. Should have gone with making his presence known in this Super Bowl. That way I don't have to guess what number of reception it was. And I could have let the game tell me. The screen. Even offensive breakdown, rushing and passing plays, 5 each. I'll go with running play number 6, and this one's a big one off the left side. The Bengals do get the stop short of the line to gain. Ezekiel Elliott up to 22 yards on 6 runs. 2nd and 1, they'll hand the ball off. Just kidding, it's a play action pass. They're going to throw it out to the flat. And that's not good enough. I don't know if that's a completion or an incomplete pass there. It's still 3rd and 1. It looked like he was going to be short of the 6 regardless. I guess if it was completed, it'd be a 3rd and inches. Either way. Big 3rd down coming here for the for both teams, really. They'll hand it to Elliott. Elliott will get met at the line of scrimmage, but he'll bounce off of that tackle and get spun down inside the 45-yard line. I thought maybe we would get a fumble. It was a weird-looking tackle. Not a ton of offense, so we have a goose egg game through the first quarter of Super Bowl 57. Cowboys in Bengals territory. Play action pass. Dak Prescott down the middle finds a wide open CeeDee Lamb, and he'll be inside the 20-yard line. Oh, excuse me, that was Brown again. I apologize. Thought I saw an 8-8, not an 8-5. Brown, 3 receptions, 57 yards, 19 yards a catch. Just a really well-designed play there. Good find by Dak Prescott to find the wide-open receiver in that vacated zone there. First visit to the red zone for either team. And it's going to lead off with a pitch, and he'll get tackled right away as Elliott isn't able to gain anything. Oh, free rush for the Bengals because the Cowboys are trying to set up a screenplay. It's going to go for -8 yards. You just got to drop it there, Elliott. You can't catch that ball for that big of a loss in this spot. It's going to knock him out of the red zone. You can see number 92 coming through, and then was that Hubbard? Right on top of the receiver. Well read by that Bengals defense and tremendous speed to get up the field and force that throw. 3rd down and 18. Bengals showing maybe a 5th rusher coming. Number 55 there in the middle of that line. He'll back off. They'll rush 4. Spin move to get off of the block, and Hendrickson forced that throw to come out a little wobbly. It's still a pretty good read by Prescott and a lot of power. Almost got caught on the back end, but no such luck for the Cowboys, and they will likely. Well, there's no way you're going for it on a 4th and 18. They'll settle for a field goal attempt. There have been just enough times where I've gone like a field goal attempt and then they go for it. And you're like, okay. Just kidding. Kick is up, and the kick is going to be good. The Cowboys take a 3-0 lead with about 8.5 to go here in the 2nd quarter. So that Zach Taylor and this Bengals offense can get figured out. Bengals will take over 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. I will be right back. Okay, so literally just sitting here. Got a bit of a bloody nose. Here's the problem, though. I can't actually pause this game, which means two things. I can't get up and take care of it and then continue to commentate when I'm done. But it also means that I can't pause it, turn on the actual commentary, and let it run. So commentary might be a little bit light here. This is really odd with this game. I've been like trying to pause it throughout bits and pieces of some of the stuff and trying to skip things here and there, but it just does not seem to want to work that way. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. I am just mashing the pause button. Can you snap it? No. Okay. There's just no pausing. All right. Mix it with a nice run up inside or up to the 45-yard. That's such a weird. It was so weird. I was just sitting here and I'm like, oh, I think my nose might be running a little bit. And then I got up to get a Kleenex and I was like, oh, nope, that's a bloody nose. I get them all the time, so please don't be worried. Mercifully for me, I don't get them a ton when I'm doing videos or streaming or anything like that, so that is positive. Okay. I'm going to hop up here for just one more second. It's first and 10 for the Bengals at the 45-yard line. I think this is the first time the Bengals have been in Cowboys territory. Burrow is going to throw to the right side and finds a receiver. That's going to be number 83, Tyler Boyd. It'll be a first down at the 26. Of course, I get up and miss the touchdown. Bengals scoring the first touchdown of this one, and it is 7-3. 74-yard drive, 2.5 minutes off the clock. And I am good to go to turn this camera back on. Here we go. Thanks for bearing with me here. So 5:50 to go in quarter number 2. Cincinnati takes the lead by 4. Did he not already put the thing down? I feel like the edit, like this would win a golden Razzie for best editing. It's just like things have already happened and they're shown again, and then like Joe Burrow's running out, but then he's running out by himself, and none of it makes sense. Speaking of number 9, the returner for the Cowboys is number 9, up to the 31-yard line. And Dak Prescott and the Cowboys will come back out on the field. I think the big problem with their drive last time was that 2nd down and 10 screen that turned into a 3rd and 18 with that 8-yard loss. I know that's probably pretty easy to say, and I'm not trying to say the obvious or make fun of anything, but you needed so much more time to try and get the receivers downfield. 18 yards on that 3rd down gave the Bengals an opportunity to get up the field on the edge. Forced a bad throw, led to a field goal. All right, there is Gallup. Correct name this time. Gallup comes through again. Just a nice little throw, 4 or 5 yards up the field. There's not much of a resistance there, and it's a pretty easy first down to first down conversion up to the 42-yard line. Cowboys eclipse 100 yards on offense. I don't know, aside from Aaron Rodgers, I don't think we've seen anything in the way of turnovers throughout these couple of games. Oh, Joe Burrow threw an interception, that's right. But the Cowboys have been clean. Dak Prescott 7-11 for 74 yards, 7 of 11. Cowboys get the ball first after the break. The extended halftime show. That is a nice defensive play right there. Had the ball in his hands with a hit, jarred it loose. Brings up 3rd down and 4. Prescott to the left. He'll find CD Lamb. That's his name. And that'll be up to the 34-yard line. A big conversion there on 3rd down and 4. Such a good defensive play on 2nd down and 4, and then just a wide open receiver on the next play. Nice play design there. CD Lamb has a defender right in front of him, but because of the way the route is run, I believe that's it was number 85, ran across the field and pulled that defender 2 steps or 3 steps to his right, and that opened up the throwing lane for Prescott. Good anticipation there to know kind of what he was looking for and how long it would take. 2nd down and 2 following the 8-yard run by Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys are working their way down the field here again, but we'll see if they can be a little bit better inside the 20-yard line. We saw this with Green Bay in that championship game. Just hit the 20-yard line and everything broke down. Play action pass for Dak Prescott. He's going to fake it to Elliott and find Elliott on the throw. Enough of a gain there to get first down. It'll be a gain of 3. 2 receptions, -4 yards for Elliott. Hands the ball off to Elliott. He'll find a good amount of room on the right side. Gain of 6. Averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. Cowboys find themselves inside the red zone again. Bengals will have some time to respond. Oh, and a little read option for Dak Prescott, but he doesn't go anywhere. 1 rush, no yards. 3rd down and 4 coming up. Third down and 4. Prescott finds the receiver. It's number 85, and he'll get up the field. I believe that's Brown again. I'll take us to the 2-minute warning. That'll be a 1st and 10. First down marker at the 1/3 yard line. Prescott tries to roll to his right, steps up, fires into the corner. It's going to be out of bounds, incomplete. Hand off to Elliott, just kidding. It's a play action pass over the middle. Easy touchdown for CD Lamb. He caught it and dropped that ball so quickly. For some reason, I thought it was incomplete. The Bengals and Joe Cool, though, have plenty of time to respond. 1:53 timeouts. Dallas, though, trying to make a good use of the double dip scoring. Extra point is up. It's an 11-play, 69-yard drive, nearly 4 minutes off the clock. And I apparently have been commentating too much football lately, because boy, my throat is not happy with it. So 10-7 our score. And the kick will be fielded at the 6-yard line, up past the 20, near the 25, but it looks a little bit short. They'll mark him at the 25. Joe Burrow, last drive, 5 for 5 for 68 yards. Found the end zone. If I got up and missed, like, the best drive of the Bengals day because I got a bloody nose, that would suck. That's how it felt watching the wild card game. Every time we turned the channel or, like, stopped watching the game to watch Coupon Twitch or whatever, that was when the Bengals did well. And then here we come to watch the game, and it's like, oh, they're just garbage. Jamar Chase getting in on the action. Little mesh route there between 3 receivers. Nice find by Joe Burrow. This is where the clock issue starts to become a problem. The game should be immediately initializing the hurry-up offense. Instead, it's burning 10 seconds for these teams every single time. So big plays are going to be the name of the game for the Bengals and Cowboys. Should it come down to that? We saw Kansas City do a good job of using timeouts and being able to get up the field pretty quickly toward the end of the half. I'm going to call a timeout here, and that's another big problem where it's just like, why are you calling a timeout now? Why isn't it when he catches and goes down, that's when the timeout's called? You got to save time. This is definitely a kink or quirk that needs to be worked out. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They probably don't care. I'm sure someone cares. I shouldn't say they don't care, but I bet that there is 1 or 2 people who go in there and they're like, we got to fix this thing. It doesn't make sense. And they go, how much is it going to cost? And they say any amount over 0 because it's not related to Madden Ultimate Team. They're like, no, it doesn't matter. No one cares. I care. Madden, I care. And I know. I bought your game. I got it. I understand. I'm part of the problem. I bought it on sale. 1, I didn't buy it for full price. And 2, with the amount of money you're making on this stuff, you should be improving your game. Second down and 5. Over to the left side. Honestly, if it were easier to do like a current, like an emulation process, and my computer could run it and like not... I'm sure there's some kind of ESPN NFL 2K thing, mod that people have made with all the correct rosters and ratings and everything like that. I just use that, but I don't have that kind of technology, so that honestly might be something to look into. Because I can't imagine that game would be too taxing on a PC. But if you throw on like streaming and recording it at the same time, like that, maybe that's where it gets a little cool. Anyway, I mentioned at the beginning of the game that both teams had been pretty even or pretty well balanced, and for the most part, the Cowboys had been fairly balanced. They've leaned slightly more toward the run or toward the pass than the run. But the Bengals, they have been a pass-happy bunch all game long. I thought that's where Cincinnati was maybe going to be at its best, was solid running game, solid passing game. That was almost jumped for an interception. That was a terrific defensive play. Boyd, though, comes up with his third reception, over 40 yards now. Float pass down the sideline. It's going to be broken up. That is a bad throw by Burrow. You do not want to see anybody throwing into triple coverage like that. Somehow the receiver was the one who got the hands on it, but even the way it got knocked out of the hands, it still was in the air with the opportunity for an interception. .41 seconds to go. Burrow steps up, fires, dart deep into the end zone. It's incomplete. Third down on the 27-yard line. Joe Burrow was at 16 for 20. Burrow fires down the right side. That's going to be broken up. It looked like he had it in his hands. That looked like that actually was like a 50-50 shot, that was a catch or an incompletion. And that will do it. Not a great drive there at the end for the Bengals. 3 incomplete passes. One really poor throw. A couple of good pass breakups for the Dallas defense. McPherson on to kick the field goal, and it is good. So we are all knotted up at 10. And that foot looked really weird on the holder, but whatever. 27 seconds to go and a full allotment of timeouts for Dallas before we wind down half number 1. This has been a really fun experiment. There are a lot of problems with this Madden game, but it's been very interesting. I like how simple it was for kind of like the what if. It was basically, going into week 7 or going into week 18, with the exception of the Jaguars Titans game. It was like, here's 3 teams that can make it into the wild card there. I thought made for a nice and neat kind of what if scenario, and I thought it was nicer and neater, and then I realized, I was like, well, so then 2 other teams are going to play each other. I was like, oh, this is more complex than I realized. And more of an expensive, it was both a more expensive time commitment and monetary commitment to do this. Dak Prescott drops back. He's going to be sacked by Hendrickson all the way back to the 28-yard line. And if I'm Dallas, I'm calling it right there. We're just going to the locker room. No big deal. You get a decent run back. You try to take a big shot down the field. Maybe get a timeout going. But the sack sets up 2nd and 18. Too deep in your own territory to really get too far up the field, I'd imagine. And that is what we'll see here. We're taking it to halftime. It is 10-10, 30 offensive snaps to 26. You can see there 4 rush plays to 21 pass plays. Some next-gen stats here. Dallas Cowboys doing well with the short pass completion percentage, but not maybe throwing it short all that frequently. We get some next-gen stats. Same thing, 50% short pass frequency. They're completing it 92% of the time. I don't really know what any of that means because none of those stats are ever interesting. We're getting set for quarter number 3. We have 20 minutes to decide a champion here. Again, we are kind of stuck with some weird, we don't have the correct overtime rules. That man grabbed a helmet even though he was already wearing a helmet and was going to put that helmet on top of the helmet that he was already wearing. $70 game, everybody. No game is perfect. I understand that. This game has not changed much over the last 15 years or whatever it's been since they've had the exclusive license. It should be better than this. They've been on next-gen platforms like the Xbox One and PS4 for 10 years now. So a pretty nice run back all the way up to the 31-yard line. The Bengals find themselves on defense. We're tied up at 10. Pretty good first half. I thought it was good offensively and defensively. Some nice pass breakups, some nice offensive plays to clear space for receivers. The running games look pretty good for both sides, though the Bengals haven't been using theirs all that much. Prescott, and we're going to see likely a hold here on the offense.
Holding offense.
And that will be a 10-yard penalty. So it'll set up first down and 20 from
Still first down.
the 21-yard line. Pretty penalty-free. We had the most bizarre penalty was the pass interference that never gets called on a Hail Mary. They gave the Packers an opportunity to try and tie, but I mean, honestly, really, it's like, I should just put the Cowboys in. I want Green Bay because I do not like Dallas, but I don't think I can give them that much of a benefit of the doubt. There's some good old home cooking here. Frying it up, flipping it. Prescott on a 2nd and 12, fires to CeeDee Lamb, who was wide open. They'll plow forward for a bunch of extra yards, get into Bengals territory. 1st and 10 at the 48. That's a huge miss for Cincinnati. They get the advantage of a 1st and 20. They give up an 8-yard run, and then just look at how vacated that zone is. When CeeDee Lamb catches that ball, there's no one within like 6 yards of him. That is pitch and catch. Ezekiel Elliott, huge hole off the right side. He is going for a long time, all the way down to the 30-yard line. But we do have a penalty. A holding on the offense. And that's going to go against Michael Gallup. It'll be interesting to see where this yardage is spotted. There was no reason for that hold. So I think it's a 10-yard penalty from the spot, which was 10 yards downfield. I don't know. That was a whole mess. Either way, Cincinnati gets bailed out of a big rush. And they'll give up about 2.5 on that. 2nd down and 8. I was really surprised that flag came out because by the time the penalty flag hit the ground, Ezekiel Elliott was down to the 30-yard line, and there was no other Cowboy in the area. Dak Prescott is having all day to throw. He is picking apart this defense that's leaving a lot of spaces just kind of vacated. Interestingly enough, though, with a couple of penalties, it's not taking a ton of time off the clock. It feels like we've been watching the Cowboys play a lot in this quarter, but a couple of penalties do stop that clock. Single back set with kind of jumbo formation, and they're going to find another nice pass there. Eli Apple getting beat on the slant to CeeDee Lamb. And it's 1st and 10 for the Cowboys inside the red zone yet again. Prescott, perfect pocket. Prescott drops back, finds Ezekiel Elliott out of the flank, and he's going to pick up a block from CeeDee Lamb. Get down near that first down marker. They're going to say move those chains 1st and 10. CeeDee Lamb, a great job turning up. I think that's Eli Apple, 24. I can't remember who that is. First and goal from the 2. Hand off to the runner in the fullback position. That might actually be a fullback. Typically, we have seen those runs go to a tight end in that spot in the fullback position. He'll pick up 1, and it's 2nd down and goal. Spread out the defense a little bit. Prescott's going to face a little bit of pressure. Fires over the middle. Nice job by number 20 there to break up that pass. 3rd down and goal from the 1. If you're Mike McCarthy, do you go for it on a 4th down? Jumbo set. You got another tight end right in that fullback position, and Ezekiel Elliott's head, if you take a quick look at that replay, looks very weird, and it's going to be a 4th and goal. The Bengals holding here. A little surprised he did not get there. I mean, impossible for us to see where that ball is. You can see his body getting all wonky and weird. Graphical glitch. I mean, he's definitely short. So 4th and goal from the 1. And, oh, they're going to go for it. I kind of think that this is not a surprising call at all. It's the Super Bowl. Elliott in for the touchdown. Can't arm tackle Ezekiel Elliott. Hendrickson looked like he was in the backfield and tried to get that stop, but 4th down and goal, that is a punch in the gut. We'll see how the offense for the Bengals can respond. Again, this is the first drive of the 2nd half. It was a 4.5-minute drive to get this lead. So we'll see what Burrow and the offense has here. It's like the quick presentation doesn't cut to this, but it doesn't know like what else to do. So he just waits. He'll field it inside the 10, and he'll get met at the 20 by a couple of coverage team members for Dallas. So the first time in a bit, we're going to see Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense come out onto the field. And this matchup is actually a possibility, the Bengals and the Cowboys. I haven't talked much about the NFC side of things, but the Cowboys still in the playoffs. They play San Francisco. And then the winner will likely play Philadelphia. The Giants got, and I feel like the Giants got the easiest wild card, like super wild card matchup. Because I don't think you can ever count Tom Brady out. And Minnesota routinely has shown that, like, yeah, they're a 3 seed or whatever, but maybe not as good as their record indicates. Burrow looking around in the pocket. He'll fall forward, and he's going to fumble the football. It's going to be Dallas recovering the ball. He was fighting for the first down. Lawrence comes up with the fumble recovery, and it is 1st and 10 for Dallas, and this might start getting ugly. We've seen Dallas take advantage of turnovers, doing a terrific job of that in this postseason. That literally just looked like Burrow just dropped the ball. This game looks so bad. It was a nice decision by Burrow. We've seen him try to roll outside the pocket a couple of times when it's collapsing on him, and he has gotten sacked. So he climbed up in the pocket, still couldn't find anybody, and then went to run upfield. Fighting for those extra yards. That's when the ball comes loose. Prescott throws, and he's going to find CeeDee Lamb. There is such tremendous separation from these Bengals backs by the Cowboys receivers. And that's truly unfortunate because we've seen so much Cowboys offense here in this third quarter as we're at the 4.5 minute mark. And the Bengals had the ball for like 2 plays and then they fumbled it. There's a nice hit by Hendrickson in the backfield. 2nd sack of the day for him. And he'll force a 2nd down and 18 all the way back to the 27-yard line. He has been an absolute monster off that end. We've called Hubbard's name a couple of times. And I think number 92 kind of helped force one of the poor pass plays for Dallas. But this is a 2nd down and 18. Try and force a 3rd and long. I think you try to just settle for the field goal. Or force them to settle for the field goal. Instead, it's Ezekiel Elliott with a monster run up the middle. And it is 3rd down and inches. This was like watching the Bengals in the wild card round. They would get these plays of 2nd down and long and then just give up these huge runs. Every time you think like they're going to get some momentum, they're going to get a nice stop, a good play, they can't do it. They can't hold on 4th and goal in this one. What happened to Ezekiel Elliott on that play? He somehow got airborne, but I don't know why. The Cowboys have a 1st and goal at the 7. It looks even funnier in slow motion. Hold on, we're going to get another one. I just don't know. I don't understand how that works. Elliott with another run, 2nd down and goal after a 4-yard rush. Elliott closing in on 100 yards rushing, up to 84. Nearly through 3 quarters of play. Elliott right up the middle runs into the teeth of the defense. He'll get half of what he needs. Down to the 2-yard line. I don't think the Cowboys need to go for it as much here, but they had success on that previous 4th and goal. Is this still 2-down territory? Oh, he was met in the backfield. I think at 4th and 1, you maybe go for it, but Hendrickson deep in the backfield. He shot through that perfectly. The Cowboys offensive line just missed that assignment. You could see as that replay was happening and Hendricks was running up. I think it's number 73 was like, oh, I should be blocking. There should be a man in front of me with my hands on him. Block, block, block. And Hendrickson had already gone past. So I think at 4th and 1, You go for it. 4th and goal from the 6. I think this is the correct call. Want to make it a 10-point game. Didn't even look like the ball got down on the ground. All right. .116 to go here in the 3rd. Dallas has scored 10 points here, which is as much as they scored in the first half. They're starting to find their way a little bit, and they're doing a good job. It's, again, that balanced attack. Elliott is going off. He is having an incredible game running the ball. The separation that the receivers are getting from the defense is also incredible. Like, Dallas looks well primed to win this game. But don't count out Joe Cool and the Cincinnati Bengals, who came back from a pretty large deficit against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It just takes one long drive, get a stop, get a touchdown, hold them to a field goal attempt, try and drive for the win. It's just that easy. So there is the rattled O-line. Burrow in the backfield by himself. Cincinnati with a measly 14 yards rushing. They'll find Jamar Chase over the middle. 151 yards through the air for Burrow. Chase, 6 receptions, 60 yards. Going about a clip of 10 per. To the 40. Under a minute to go here. I'd like to see Joe Mixon get mixed in a little bit more here. There's another throw. That's Joe. Joe to Jamar. Chase with his 7th reception. That's a big one for 18. First and 10 from the 42-yard line. Burrow drops back, fires. We saw him throw a pick on a play just like that. That's going to just be an interception with 5 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. There's a nice completion to the left side for 5 yards. And that is how the 3rd quarter will come to a close. Dallas puts up 10 points and controls the clock for most of that 3rd quarter. And they lead by 10, 20-10 with 10 to go. A lot of 10s happening here. 10 to go to decide the winner of this one. Burrow and the Bengals, though, driving nicely here at the 37-yard line. A field goal is helpful, but I don't think is... That's not what you want. Burrow finds number 85. Is that Hurst? No, 88, excuse me. I believe that is Hurst regardless. That's a gain of 12 and a first down. Kept those feet steady in the pocket. Clean pocket for Burrow. Nice job by the offensive line there. Try to run with Mixon. He'll pick up 1. 5 rushes for 13 yards. Not really what you're looking for, but trying to mix in the run, maybe trying to... double move down the sideline would be probably pretty nice. You got to get that run game going. Get those linebackers and the safeties to cheat up a little bit. Burrow steps back, fires over to Higgins. Yeah, it was Higgins. Okay, I remembered correctly that time. Higgins will pick up a couple, I think 4. And it's 3rd down on 5 on the edge of the red zone. Burrow by himself in the backfield. And fire over the middle. It was off a helmet, but a tremendous catch by Boyd. The two receivers just kind of ran right into each other. Just a split second too early. Take a look at the replay here. It's going for the receiver. It's Chase behind him, but it hits Boyd's helmet. And Boyd with great awareness to come up with that catch and 1st down for the Bengals. Mixon off the right side, picks up 3. 2nd down and 7. Oh, Burrow finds Chase, who's going to turn upfield. I thought Burrow should have gone to Chase just a second earlier. He was right over the middle with no defenders anywhere near him. Take a look at this replay. See how free and open he is? 27 still has his back turned to the offense. If you get him a little more over the middle of the field, he might be able to turn up and at least make a valiant effort at a touchdown. Instead, still a 1st and goal, so a nice play by Chase regardless. I'm supposed to be commentating, but I'm getting lost in the game itself. Burrow fires, wide open, touchdown, Higgins. T. Higgins with the score, and that'll make it 20-16. That is a fantastic drive for Burrow and the Bengals coming back. And look at how open. You want to talk about how open the Cowboys receivers have been throughout the entirety of this game? That is a wide open T. Higgins in the end zone. It was 6:57. We got a 3-point ball game, presuming this is good, which I don't see why it wouldn't be. .415, 11-play, 66-yard drive. So this is why that touchdown is important. Now the defense can give up a field goal, and it doesn't doom you quite as much. A touchdown gives you a 1-point lead at 24-23. You settle for a field goal there, and they score a field goal. It's that saying you're just trading field goals. I think this helps the defense play maybe a little looser, and not feel like they have to prevent them from any point. So you can give up 3, and you're still fine. McPherson puts his shoe into that one, and it'll be returned from the 8-yard line. Did my math a little backwards there. And he'll get up to the 26, so about a 19-yard return, 18-yard return. Prescott and the offense coming back onto the field. Been sitting for a little bit. Had in the quarter change. And was that enough time to get the Bengals defense some rest, cool off this hot Cowboys offense? Bengals with a tremendous stand on a goal line situation, or goal to go situation. Hendrickson came through and pushed him back for a loss of 6. Back Prescott in the pocket finds a wide open CeeDee Lamb. I've been saying that all game long. They're just running it 5 yards or 7 yards up the field and just turning around and getting another 5 to 7 yards after that. That was from what? That was a 6-yard route, maybe? 26 to like the 32? Maybe a little further upfield. All the way up to the 42 after the run, after the catch. Play action pass. He's going to be hit in the backfield and dropped. Hendrickson coming through. 3rd sack of the day. Hendrickson, not really sure what happened there. We're getting some kind of next-gen stat somewhere. I don't see it, though. Oh. Last play, NGS, 3.3, time to sack. Prescott finds himself alone in the backfield with under 6 minutes to go in Super Bowl 57. Hendrickson again putting a little bit of pressure on him. He got hit. It's going to be caught down the left sideline. Oh my goodness. The Bengals for the second time have had these monster second downs. 2nd and 18, I think, on both of them. And they just give up these huge plays. Hendrickson was right there. The ball came out a little bit wobbly. And number 29 is just not even looking for the ball. Just a blind swat. Ezekiel Elliott's going to be met by number 55 after a gain of 1. Elliott was getting real close to 100 yards, but the big old 5-yard loss on that goal-to-go situation made that feel a little less likely. Halfway through quarter number 4 here. Cowboys in field goal range. The Bengals defense has to clamp down, and they need to do it now. Not going to do it with that. Oh my God. I hate the Cowboys so very much. Is that our guy? We have not seen our guy. Schultz has not had a catch in the last 2 years. He caught so many passes in that divisional round. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Prescott finds, hey, there he is. It's Schultz. His first catch. He has a Super Bowl reception. Oh, he had a reception earlier in this game, and I did not realize it. My bad. 2 receptions. So 2nd down and 4 from the 8. The Bengals are not getting any pressure here on Dak Prescott. They need to send a blitz or something just to get him off his spot. Hendricks cannot be the one relied on. Oh no. Oh no. So to provide all the pressure. That pass play, lucky for the Bengals. Bell is number 25. Bengals defense gets a little bit of a break with the 4-yard loss, and the Bengals team in general gets a little bit of a break that the clock stops because it went out of bounds. Going with 4 wide receivers. Elliott's going to make it a 5th in the flat. Prescott goes to find Elliott, but he's high on the throw, and that will get the that'll get the Cowboys off the field. 4th down and 8. The field goal is up, and the field goal is good. 4 minutes and change to go, and the Bengals with a shot to take the lead with a touchdown. They had a tremendous drive last time. Kick is away. Fielded from about the 7-yard line. He'll get up to the 20 where he will be met at the 25-yard line. So 75 yards in 4 minutes for Burrow and the Bengals. A field goal does you a whole lot of nothing. It's touchdown or bust for this Bengals team. Looking to avenge their Super Bowl loss from a year ago. A tightly contested game where maybe Cooper Kupp should have been pulled off the field for concussion protocol, but hey, what's a head injury when you got a ring, huh? I'm kidding. He got demolished in the end zone toward the end of that game. That was a surprisingly dangerous throw. Again, a couple of receivers just in the same area, but that one bounced kind of weirdly, and there was a Cowboys defender in the area to try and intercept that ball. Burrow, there's a nice play out to Joe Mixon, who will gain about 11th. And that's a first down, wide open there in the flat. I like this play. There's plenty of time for it, which is helpful to the Bengals, but really well timed. Mixon caught the ball, had time to get upfield. It's first down and 10 to 36. Pass to 7 rush plays. It's not the reason that they're behind. I thought they would be more balanced. I think that's what's helped Dallas to this lead. I think that's why Dallas would be leading this game, would be their balance. I think the difference might just be that fumble. There's a nice run for Mixon up to midfield. They'll spot him wrong. They'll spot him at the 50. I thought maybe they'd call it the 49. That's a good run. This clock is starting to it's not too big of a factor, but gotta start paying attention to it a little bit more. 2.5 to go. Bengals 50 yards away. Said that very weirdly, unintentionally. 8-yard gain down to the 42. Do we get one more snap here before the 2-minute warning? I don't think we will, because it'll take 5 seconds off him, so it hits 25 seconds. And Burrow not in position to snap that ball. So, 2 minutes to go here in Super Bowl number 57. Cincinnati finds themselves down 6 on a 2nd down and 2. 42 yards away from pay dirt. Burrow over the middle. And both of these defenses have really allowed the other quarterback just all kinds of space to thread this ball. They're not even really threading the needle in that sense. So that's an incorrect term, but they're just throwing it all over the yard. Oh, okay, all right. Okay. That one tipped and incomplete. Mercifully for the Cincinnati Bengals, no Dallas defender in the area. 1:32 on the clock. Fires over the middle. It's going to get close. 3rd down and 1. Becoming a little bit more of a factor here. It is showing that game-breaking problem. They're going, it says no huddle, but they were clearly in a huddle. Play action pass to the sideline. That is Higgins. Oh, it was incomplete. I thought he had it. Oh, 4th and 1 for the game. Oh my gosh. I thought it was a completed pass. Cincinnati, they can't stop the clock 3 times, but the time management problems in this game are awful. 4th and 1. Over the middle. It's T. Higgins. He's down inside the 5 at the 2-yard line. I couldn't keep my words. I can't find my words. Oh, it's so exciting. Nothing more exciting than the Cowboys losing, potentially. All right, they got to get up and go here. I have no control over this. I can't press X. I can barely pause this game at all. In fact, I don't think I can. Burrow to Mixon. Touchdown! Touchdown, Joe Mixon. We have a tie game. Extra point pending. Right over the middle. .33 seconds to go. Field goal's going to win it for Dallas. The kick is up. The kick is good. 11 play, 77-yard drive, 3.5 minutes. They have all the momentum. Hendrickson's been a problem on Dak Prescott's left side, the left side of that line. We've seen him get across a couple of times. And, more importantly, we did have the weird pass interference call in the Cowboys-Packers game, so keep that in the back of your mind. In real life, they're not calling pass interference like at all in those scenarios. Oh, a huge run back up to the 31 with 28 seconds to go. So we'll see. CD Lamb, 6 receptions, 104 yards, and a touchdown. That is a tremendous stat line right there. Cincinnati's been giving up. CD Lamb obviously with the 6 receptions. But they've been giving up some big plays, especially over the middle. Dallas has 3 timeouts. 33 seconds or 28 seconds is plenty of time in this situation. They're going to throw it, and that is wide, incomplete. Target is the 41-yard line. That's a kind of a weird graphic. I read it wrong because the Cowboys are going this way, but they're showing the graphic like kicking that way. So it looks a little bit weird. Should be probably facing the same way. 2nd down and 10. Hendrickson's going to be at the top of that line. We're keeping track of him. It's going to be a huge play to number 86. It's Schultz all the way down to the 44-yard line. Of course, the long kicks have not been great for any team. Red line in the middle is the field goal range. Hendrickson, he's firing off his back foot. It's intercepted! It's intercepted! Oh, Dak Prescott with a terrible throw. Almost the same throw we saw Aaron Rodgers make to end the game. The Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl. The Cincinnati Bengals are your what-if champions. They should just take a knee. Pratt coming through with an unbelievable interception. .11 seconds to go. And that is going to do it. We'll probably see some timeouts here, even though we shouldn't. Dallas, what are you doing? An unbelievable game. I called Hendrickson's name before that drive started. He got free at the top of that line. That's Dak Prescott's left side. And he forced a really awful throw, and Pratt came through with a really easy interception. 41 passes, 9 rushes for the Bengals in their 50 offensive snaps. I don't know if these count as well, but we'll see the timeout taken and an absolute garbage move on Mike McCarthy's part. But I expect nothing less from a classless Cowboys team. They only had to get 3 more yards, but with the long kicks. So 50 for the 41 is like a 56-yard field goal or so. And none of the really long field goals have been effective. So I don't believe that would have been a made field goal anyway. It didn't matter because Pratt, there he is at the front of that celebration, had the interception. Burrow in disbelief. He did it. He led the Bengals all the way back against Jacksonville, on the road against Kansas City again, and a huge drive to take the lead. Huge credit to the Bengals defense to hold Dallas to a couple of field goals. Specifically the second goal to go situation where they were at the one on the third down and they pushed them back 5 yards. It made it not even an option to go for it on 4th and goal. And obviously after the turnover, they held them to just 3 instead of 6. So the Bengals defense played bend but don't break for this entire playoff run. And it benefited them. Here's some highlights for you. Both of the touchdown throws that Burrow had wide open. Did he have a third one? I can't remember. Who scored the CD Lamb? Oh, Chase had the end. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Chase had the touchdown that I did not see because I was dealing with a bloody nose. Okay, so there you go. There's your scores by quarter. Nothing in the first. And all you need is that one little point so you have more than the other team. Unreal game. We watched two of the best games that we had in this entire playoff run were with the Cincinnati Bengals. So congratulations to them. You are the What If Super Bowl champions. Hopefully you enjoyed this whole series. I know it was a long one. It was like a couple of 3 hour-ish part, 2 hour, 40-minute parts, then the big 5 hours, and then this one's 3:45 or so. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. There is one other kind of thing that we could look at on the AFC side of things, if we so choose. We can flip the Jaguars and the Titans and see how that would have affected it, because that might propel Los Angeles forward. I don't know if the Titans are as well equipped to come back from a 27-point deficit, you know what I mean? We wouldn't necessarily give the Titans a 27-point deficit, but we could take a look at that if people are interested. But that'll do it. That'll do it for this whole series. Congratulations again to the Digital Bengals for winning the What If Super Bowl. Your Lombardi Trophy is in the mail, and I owe you a Lombardi Trophy. Thank you so much for watching. We got great content coming up this week on the channel. Tomorrow we have Japan Crate, the January Japan Crate. So be sure to check that out. It's a little bit longer. I know the taste tests typically are like 10 minutes and less, but this one has a bunch of stuff in it. We had a good time filming it, so I hope you have a good time watching it. Sunday, we're continuing We Are OFK. Should be episode number 3. Monday, we'll be taking a look at... Monday, I'll be watching my old Week in Review episode number 1 and maybe talking about some things that I'd like to do with the channel moving forward. So if you want to see that, we'll be taking a look back and looking forward to the year 2023. The playoffs start in NFL Fever 2003 with the wild card round. 4 matchups for you in that game. Wednesday, we'll be taking a look at Forspoken. Thursday, more co-op. That'll be Sea of Thieves. And then Friday will most likely be more Forspoken, but it might be something else. There's another game I have my eye on that I kind of want to take a look at, but I'm not 100% sold on, so we'll see. More than likely, though, I think it'll be, you'll get a couple of parts of Forspoken. So, any of that sounds good? Be sure to scroll down, subscribe, ring that bell, and you'll be notified when I post new videos. We also have a new SpongeBob game coming out. Season is coming out on the PlayStation 5, and I'm very excited about that. So, good stuff coming up on the channel. We will see you another day in a different video. Thank you so much for watching again. Hopefully you enjoyed this whole 4-part series. I had a blast making it, and we'll see you next time. Congratulations and go Bengals. Who dey? Is that what they? Yeah, who dey? Who they gonna beat them Bengals? Ain't nobody.